Got it. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. All right, we should be live. Let me just make sure that this is muted. It should always be muted. All right. Welcome, everybody, to an all-new episode of GVN Talk. Obviously, you guys know this is a show we try to bring you more consistently than we did all of last year. So we're starting off 2022 pretty good. We've had what, Trevon? 3 episodes of GVN Talk this year?
Yeah, I think it's been about 3.
Yeah, it's been about 3. Yeah, that should add up. But anyway, I want to welcome in not only a newcomer to the GVN team as one of our newest writers, but hopefully someone that wants to come back and do GVN Talk with us. Tristian, welcome, Tristian.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be here with you all.
Absolutely. And I'm just now curious how many times I will mix up Tristian and Trevon in the course of this episode. Trevon's lucky. We don't have many. We have Trevon and Tia, right? So that sounds drastically different. So it's easier. But Tristian and Trevon, I'm going to mess you guys up at some. Just understand and accept it.
It's okay.
And joining me, literally, as always, the only person that in a drop of a hat will podcast with me, no matter what, rain, sleet, snow, the UPS of podcasting. Trevon, what's up, Trevon?
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Now, the only time I won't is if she is having a concert today. So it's the only time I'll be like, yep, can't do it. Sorry.
That's fair. Hey.
All the time.
Nikki just dropped a song and Trevon forgot who I was. I've never seen disrespect like that. I text Trevon and he said, "Who?" I'm like, "Juwaan. I don't know who you are on Nikki Day." So that's what I have to deal with, people. That's what I have to deal with in the workplace. But anyway, before we get into our topics, I actually wanted to start off with something pretty cool. Clearly, it's Black History Month. First of all, I want to say that streaming services, do me a favor. When you say you want to celebrate Black History Month, stop putting slavery movies on your streaming service. I don't know why you think that I would get my brothers, my sisters, my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my grandfather, my uncles and aunts and say, hey, what would make us feel really good about a month that's supposed to celebrate us? Let's remind ourselves on our history and how our history has not drastically changed from then to now. Let's watch Glory, right? Come on, right? What brings family together? Stop it. There are so many other Black movies you can incorporate. Stop it, okay? Because it does nothing for us. Like, we don't go, what, 12 years a slave? Oh, family, get together. Like, stop it. Enough. Whoever's running it, you're doing it wrong.
They
Every
do that
year you're doing it wrong.
and announce price hikes of Netflix.
And announce, like, hey, pay more and remember where you came from.
Okay.
So just do better. But that's not what I wanted to start with. That's just been on my heart for a long time. I
saw a tweet that was basically saying the same thing, and I was like, yes, like, yeah, I agree with all of that.
Like, I like, why? Like, stop it. Enough, right? But no, what I wanted to start with was to celebrate Black History Month the right way. I wanted us to highlight some of our favorite figures in Black history, whether it's comic book writers, comic book characters, movies, whatever the case may be, just so we can celebrate a little bit of our culture. And I want to start off with Into the Spider-Verse. Miles Morales, to me, is one of the most important characters to the youth of Black kids today. Just everything he stands for, right? And Miles was our first glimpse into the whole stigma of Spider-Man can never be any other race, right? He was white, he can only ever be white. And then you see Miles Morales and you're like, Miles seems like what Stan Lee has been preaching about since he created the character. The idea that he wears the mask and he is very common. Like, there's nothing about Spider-Man that you look at and you're like, well, that's a struggle no one else can really say they have, right? Like, he's poor. Like, what race can safely say, like, oh, I've never known what that looks like? Like, what? Poor? Everyone, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Everything about Peter Parker just screams everyday man. And then you get Miles. And then Miles screams everyday man even more because he's relatable. We could look at him and go, yeah, that's me. But yeah, Into the Spider-Verse had one of the greatest moments I've ever seen, I've ever had watching a movie, just as far as chills, just as far as what the moment meant to me. And that was when Miles finally had the confidence to be who he's supposed to be, which is Spider-Man. And he jumps off that building. That just, it meant so much, putting away all the fear, all the anger, all the self-doubt, and realizing you are just as much of a hero as Spider-Man is, because you are Spider-Man. So that was beautiful. I love the way that they wrote that. I love the way it was. I know technically it was animated, so saying the way it was shot sounds silly, but I loved everything about that moment. Even him remembering Aunt May, showing him the different suits and whatnot. I just loved everything about that movie, but specifically that part. And that goes to a long list of reasons why Miles Morales is very special to me, and why we should 100% celebrate him as much as possible, not just in Black History Month, but as much as possible. Miles Morales is the future. And it's just great, man, to see guys like that. Welcoming in AJ. What's up, AJ? Thank you for being late as always.
You're welcome.
I just love your consistency. It's what I love.
Hey, I gotta do what I gotta do sometimes. I'm sorry. I apologize for being late as always. Not really.
Come on, man. It's Black History Month. Don't be late. Be early, AJ.
Hey, what? I gotta be late. You gotta be late.
I feel like if there's ever a month where it is okay to be late, it's
right,
Black
that is
History Month.
fair.
Exactly.
That is fair.
Like he's okay.
Also, I can't hope, but what is on your forehead?
Well, I wore this the last podcast that we did, right? Because I didn't know Zoom had these features, so I saw it and I liked it. But today, the reason I'm wearing it is I shaved my head, and now I feel like it makes me look like Tupac, so I want to keep it.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's gonna stay. I do feel like I'm running death row right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel powerful. I feel very powerful. But anyway, AJ, before we actually start our main topics, we were talking about, we were celebrating our Black culture. And we were I started it off talking about whatever kind of comes to mind in celebrating Black culture, whether it's a comic book character, a comic book writer, actor, director, whatever comes to mind. So I'm not going to put you on the spot and go to you now. I'm going to go to Tristian and Trevon. Trevon, I'll go to you next. What comes to mind when you think of celebrating Black History Month?
We already know what character I'm going with. Static. Static Shock.
Yeah, I should have.
I have been fiending for that character to be live action for a very long time. And I mean, that cartoon, when I watched it, was just, he was I don't know, he was just so fun, cool, but also very smart, and just, I mean, he was clever. It's just, I liked the way he was portrayed. Like, I really loved how they did that cartoon. I don't know, I just love seeing that. You don't see many characters like that. Until, like, I feel like Miles right now is similar to that. You know, they don't have to have some kind of stereotype to them. They could just be smart, cool kids. And you know,
Static had both his parents.
Yeah. So, you know, they don't have to do that. You don't have to strip them down or put them in bad situations or whatever all the time.
Go ahead and say it. You ain't got to put them in jail.
Yeah.
You know
or gangs or something like
gangs
that.
Or drug dealing, and then in prison is where he finds superpowers. Like, no, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I really like that. Like I said, that's why I am so adamant on give me more news about this happening, like, for real. Like, I know you guys are saying you're doing it. Yes, I get it, but come on. Like, I've been waiting for a very long time. That cartoon was a long time ago. Like I will rewatch the cartoon. I will, but like, give me the live action character. Like, I just knew we were gonna get it in Black Lightning, and I was like, oh,
bro,
I just knew it. I just really knew it. I was like,
let me say this again. Chris Williams is a good friend of GVN's. We've interviewed him numerous times, met up with him numerous times. I remember our first interview. I asked Chris, right? I asked him. It was season 1. It was in the middle of season 1, and I asked him, and I said, me and Joel were like, "What's the chances Static Shock comes into the world of Black Lightning?" And I will never forget. He said, "Oh, it's being discussed. You know, it's something that we talk about or whatever." And then I'll never forget that kid, because I didn't watch all of Black Lightning. There was a kid that came into town. And everybody, there was not a person on earth outside of whoever wrote it, directed, and starred in that show, just knew that kid was Static Shock. It was just like, oh, a kid that seems like Jefferson's going to have to mentor, or he's going to go down a wrong path. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the accident to happen where he's running around with the wrong friends.
I was just waiting for Virgil. That's all I needed to hear. And I was screaming.
Yes, I'm with you. So when you find out more about the character and you're just like, all right, he's not using electricity. What's happening here? Like, what's going on? And then you find out it's not Virgil. And it's like, how do you mess that up? How do you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you rushed to give his daughters powers.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But that could have been a spin-off show. And Black Lightning could have been focusing more on introducing Virgil to give Virgil his own show. Because that's really what the CW is missing right now. Something like a Miles that can kind of carry the torch when the Flash is gone, Arrow's gone.
That's not the first time they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball with Vixen too when they had.
They 100% dropped the ball with Vixen.
They really did. I was like, "Come on, right there! It's right there. Do your show."
Slapping you in the mouth, and they were just like, "No." And me and Joel talked about it before. They dropped the ball with Roy. I've never seen like just a spit in the face of just like what you give us every other. You make Diggle a sidekick instead of Roy. Why do you think we want to see Diggle? I want to see Roy, let alone him becoming Arsenal. No, we get Arsenal in the future, and then we get Diggle as his number 2. I hate everything CW. Not really. Shut up, AJ. But Trevon, I will tell you again, the announcement of Static Shock is only 2 years old. It's only 2 years, and barely at that, 2 years old. It's only a year and some change.
I think I just want fast track treatment that they do other stuff.
It just
that's all.
It won't get that only because I think they're trying to reinvigorate the popularity of the character. Like Blue Beetle is something fresh, especially if you're watching Young Justice, right? So I can understand fast tracking that. We clearly understand why Batgirl was fast tracked. We don't even have to go through that. So I think if they were doing like Plastic Man instead, I would be with you. I'd be like, oh, that's messed up. But Batgirl and Blue Beetle, I get why those two things are fast tracked.
Well, how do you feel about Firefly getting a spinoff? What if that comes before we get Static Shock?
Firefly getting? You mean the villain for Batgirl?
Yeah, from what I heard, he's getting some kind of spinoff or something. That's what I read the other day.
I have to imagine that can't be true. That's
what I read.
I just have to imagine that can't be true. That sounds almost as stupid as what I have to live through with Sony. So DC, I just have to imagine is smarter than that.
I'm gonna talk about that. I hope we get to that. I hope we get to the Madam Web.
We will. So I can completely pull down my pants.
Because it's not just Madam Web. Have you seen what they're thinking it's gonna be? I mean,
and it better be that. Because if it's Madam Web, throw the whole project in the garbage. Throw the actors in the garbage. Throw everything a part of that.
No, not the actors. Now.
Yes, throw her in the garbage. For even taking that. You want a role where you sit in the chair all day?
Hell yeah.
I don't.
Professor
X.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Professor X, there you go. You're welcome.
Professor X.
AJ,
the difference is Professor X has to sit there.
Doesn't matter. You say a person in the role.
What are we talking about? No, it's not the same thing.
He's in a chair. You're welcome.
Oh my God, AJ. I can't tell you how much I hate you. But Trevon, did you want to add anything else to Black Lightning? I mean, sorry, Static Shock.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, no, I don't know.
Also, shout out to the new artist, Nicholas Draper. I can't pronounce that.
Talking for the comic book,
but for the newest comic book, he's doing a real good job right there with doing Static. Real good job.
If they use that as the source material, that'd be awesome too. I just want to I just want to do it.
Well, I think he's been announced to help out on the animated series, so I wouldn't doubt if he was helping out a little bit with the live action too. So
it's possible.
Yeah.
Look, I know how passionate Michael B. Jordan is about this project, so it'll be interesting to see when the casting drops, because obviously we'll probably get in this order: director, writer, then actor. Only The Rock has ever been. No, I won't say that. No, because Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel and Black Panther were announced before directors and writers. But to be fair, it was Brie Larson fresh off of an Oscar and Chadwick Boseman. So unless their casting is of that vein, I find it very hard to believe that we'll get an actor before a director and writer. But no, I love that pick, Trevon. Like I said, I'm with you, man. I want to see Static. You know what I'm saying? Black Lightning only made me want to see Static more. And I know me and Joel were talking when this was announced. We were like, bro, I really hope Static Shock ends where, you know, he's trying to figure himself out, right? Like he saves the day, obviously, but he still can't really get a grasp on his powers. And then in walks Jefferson. And then it's like, oh my God, we're going to get like a Black Lightning Static Shock crossover. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Like
it will be.
I desperately want that, man. Same way I've always wanted a Batman movie to end with Martian Manhunter walking in, right? Where it was a character all throughout the movie. We're like, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? Why are they always at the scene of the crime and whatnot, like showing up late? And then boom, it's Martian Manhunter warning Batman of what's to come. Epic, right? Or the other way around, a Martian Manhunter movie that ends with Batman figuring out who he is. Beautiful. That's why I always say connecting things are important. Shit like that is beautiful to see. You know what I'm saying? But Tristian, I pass it to you, man. What jumps out to you?
Have you guys ever seen the movie Fast Color?
No.
Yeah.
Heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I recently discovered that, and I think I've become obsessed with it, but I think it's because I also watched Encanto not too long ago, and I feel like there's those two have a lot of things in common. So A Fast Color follows a movie. It's about three generations. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. But Fast Color is about this family, like 3 generations of African American women, and Ruth, the main character, who's played by, and I hope I don't butcher her name, is it Gugu Mbatha? She was in Loki. She was an African American lady from Loki.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So in this movie, she plays a character named Ruth, who, when you meet her, she's on the run. And you're not really sure who she's running from. But early in the film, within the first 5 minutes, she's in this hotel and she has a seizure, but the seizure causes this devastating earthquake. And you find out she's being hunted by the government. So she goes back home, and she comes from this family of African American women who have the ability to telekinetically take things apart and put them back together. So she goes back to her home. She has been estranged from her mother. She's been estranged from her daughter who's 10 years old. But it's this really good movie about 3 generations of African American women, and it talks about generational power, generational trauma. We find out how Ruth's power has never worked correctly, and how that kind of alienated her from her mother, and it's now kind of alienating her from her daughter, even though she's trying to get to know her daughter, who she abandoned when she was an infant. So I've been really obsessed with that movie. I've been trying to write a video essay about it, but it's just a really good commentary on generational trauma and generational power. And what I love about it is that there's hint at this larger mythology. It could be a traditional superhero film, but it doesn't go that route. It's more so here's this one small corner of the universe. Here's this family trying to stop their little small corner of the universe from imploding. And it's just really centered on family. But even the way the movie ends, it's okay, there's more to this. When the movie opens up, we find out that there's been a drought in this world for 8 years. So it's there's hints that there's something going on, that this family may be connected to it. And I think recently, it was announced last year that Viola Davis is going to produce a series for Amazon. So they're going to continue it, but I love that the movie just kind of focused on family.
Right. I love that. I'll make sure I check it out. I'll text you after the show so you can remind me so I can check it out.
It was good.
And especially anything Viola Davis does, I have an interest in. How to Get Away with Murder was some of the greatest. Her and Shonda Rhimes are
so good.
Her and Shonda Rhimes are probably the Dr. Dre in you know what I'm saying? The Dr. Dre and Kendrick the TV universe, where it's just like, why is it always so good every time you guys connect? You know what I mean? Like, why is it never a miss? Albeit I didn't like the finale of it, but I think by that time Shonda was gone from a lot of what she was doing over at ABC. So I'm not sure how involved she was with the last two seasons. I thought they were a little weak, but damn, can Viola Davis act? It's not coming out of her nose in that movie with Denzel. You know what I'm saying? That's acting. You know what I'm saying? She must have thought of something. Yes, Fences, thank you. She must have thought of something that brought up that memory. Hell, people even say Viola Davis was the best part of the movie. I think it was Doubt with Meryl Streep.
And she was in that one scene.
She was only in the one scene for like 10 minutes. And it was just like, damn. Like, I remember after that part, I was just like, whoa, where are you going? Like, hold on, wait.
I think she was nominated. I want to say she was nominated for an Oscar, right? For that.
I think she was for that. Yeah, I think she was for that for sure. I tell you what, if Meryl Streep is in that vein, Viola Davis has to be in the same vein. I don't think she has a little bit more work to do. I think she's right there. If Meryl Streep is the peak of actresses, Viola Davis is right there. Right there.
Absolutely.
She just needs more opportunities for Oscar nominated movies to get there. You know what I'm saying? Award wise. But as far as acting credits go, I don't think Meryl Streep has anything over Viola Davis. Not at this point. All right. AJ. Oh, wait. Before I pass to you, AJ, I do want to give a shout out to the movie that I thought, outside of Dune, of course, was the best movie of 2021. And that's The Harder They Fall. Beautiful. That's how you do a movie. That's how you do a Western movie. And I just felt so represented watching that movie, man. And you got the elites. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't get a whole bunch of no names that I got to kind of grow with and kind of, watch the movie and hope that they get me interested. You went for all the heavy hitters, all of them. And it was a beautiful movie. And AJ, we discussed this maybe a month and a half ago, that movie should be nominated. Whatever you want to nominate it for, best lead actor, best supporting actor, best actor,
everything,
best supporting actress, best wardrobe, best wardrobe, best director, best film, whatever you want to do for that movie, it should have numerous nominations for how well it was. Goodness gracious. But AJ, what are you putting up?
I'm gonna put up Black Panther. Cultural wise, I think it's probably one of the most influential within our medium, within the film medium. I really love this character and comics. The character of T'Challa is really very inspirational to young kids, young African kids, young and older African people. It's just everything. He's very inspirational to everyone. And just to see this movie come out exactly when it came out in 2018, just the huge significant impact that this movie had, even outside of the movie industry. People from outside that don't really care for movies wanted to celebrate this movie because of the 99.999% all Black cast. So having that, and Ryan Coogler directing it, and seeing, and T'Challa acting as not T'Challa, goodness, Chadwick Boseman acting as T'Challa, which we can't deny he is T'Challa at this point. That's why we always have these arguments. Should the character of T'Challa be changed to another actor? Shouldn't it? And all of that. Yes. Which speaks to Chadwick's performance as Black Panther. So for me, one of the most important characters to date is Black Panther. And of course, shout out to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby for creating the character. Mm-hmm. One of the most influential peoples in comics history out of everything. So I'm choosing Black Panther.
Yeah, and the thing that was most important to me of Black Panther was, I know this was an argument for forever, but people didn't intellectually understand what the actual conversation was. But when we say Black Panther was our first live action Black superhero, everyone always jumps up in arms. But we had Blade.
Yeah.
Yes. Only difference is when you're sitting down with a 5-year-old and you're trying to show him, hey, I know you see all those other colored superheroes, but you have one that you could be just like. You tend not to show him the guy who's murdering for 2.5 hours, right? That's not what you want to show your young brother or son or cousin, right? You want to show him
killing, yeah.
Right. You want to, and especially the movie starts with him killing. Like, it's not even like it's just murder, right?
Which was badass, but yeah.
No, for sure. And again, this isn't a knock to the character Blade at all. But Black Panther is what you want to show people. Is what you want to show the youth. You want to show them, hey, don't you want to be like T'Challa? Look at all the good he did.
This is actually the only movie my grandmother wanted to see that was like superhero based, because she knew how influential this character is.
Absolutely.
And at the end, she said this is her favorite movie because of the themes that it had within this movie and the inspiration that it gave to everybody within the theaters and the movie experience. Everybody laughed, everybody cried, everybody cheered at the same time. And I would even argue as much as Infinity War and Endgame as well. So
sure.
It's empowering. It's a very important movie. Yeah,
absolutely.
Very empowering. Very empowering. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Look, it was very important to have that. It was a special moment. The writing for that movie was so crisp.
Yeah.
The fact that Michael B. Jordan wasn't nominated, like we're talking about opening up the Oscars, Trevon. Remember we were talking about opening it up for Spider-Man. If we didn't open it up for Black Panther, I damn sure don't need to open it up for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, I love that movie up and down, and this isn't even for us to debate. This is just my opinion. There's not one performance in No Way Home that I thought stood out more than Michael B. Jordan's performance as Killmonger. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, when I look at that, I'm like, well, if you didn't nominate Michael B. Jordan for Killmonger, I can't look at anything from No Way Home and go, well, it was better. You know what I'm saying? Just the subtleties of Michael B. Jordan in that movie, when he's talking to her about the art, and he's like, you didn't even know this was stolen from our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? So that scene just was, it was just chilling.
And the scene where T'Challa meets his father again, the ancestry form scene, which was so, oh my God. Every time I think about the scene, it just gives me chills. It gives me goosebumps because it's so well performed. Yep. And this is actually the one movie that I disagree with everybody that shouldn't be in a nomination for Best Picture. I actually did believe that this deserved Best Picture nomination. Outside of the terrible visual effects at the end.
Oh God, yeah, that was
everything else was just down packed, perfect.
Yep.
Acting was perfect. Theme, story, music. Music was incredible.
And look, this is how we know Black Panther, obviously outside of all the money it made, but this is how we know Black Panther did so well, especially for us. The first thing the naysayers were saying is, it's only good because it's for Black people, right? Like, only made the money because like Black. Whenever you get stuff like that, you know you're doing the right thing. Whenever you get conversation that just sounds so absurd, like what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, huh? Okay, sure. All right. Yeah. Can we say that's how
is that meme where you see everybody saying cool, and then just turn around and start talking about Black Panther again?
Right, exactly. So to me, whenever you jar up conversation like that, you know you're on the right path. Because it means the haters are paying attention. Go ahead, Trevon.
I'm about to say, just for Black Panther, it's like the characters, are great, but also like just the world of Wakanda, just the feeling of a rich Black nation that's like, stay away from us. Like we are guard, we are away from. It's just great. I don't know, just that feeling, just like.
No, I'm with you. I loved how they structured that world, which is why I was very weirded out at the end of Endgame, where it looked like Vegas, right? Where it was like, why does it look like y'all made this into like a shopping center? Like you
were celebrating. I get what you're saying, but they were celebrating.
Yeah, they were celebrating.
That's fair, but I swear, man.
Hey, they went out. They're having a party.
It looked like Vegas. It didn't look like no cookout. It looked like Vegas. Like they turned that into Vegas.
What is the kind of money they got there? You know.
Hey, no knock. I was just like, damn. Like, all right, it looked from like, all right, you know, we do what we need to do to get by. To y'all come out and hit these slots tonight.
Let's go up.
Let's go up. You know, wear your finest furs out. Let's do this thing. I was like, damn, okay, all right, caught me off.
I also love how Wakanda is treated as El Dorado a little bit.
Yeah,
I really love that.
Yeah,
especially since Africa is treated as one of the poorest countries in the nation,
which it's not.
Which it is. It isn't.
It's not.
So
you actually, if you go to Africa, you'll see how beautiful it looks more so than what you see from the
pictures and advertisements.
Here. Yeah. You know, donate $1, and it's like that's not that'd be like someone telling you, "Hey, New York looks horrible," and they show you the one corner of New York where it's like 95 homeless people, and you're like, "Oh, I'm never gonna go there. Look how horrible it looks." It's like, bro, did you show them anywhere else in New York? No, just the one corner. Well, that's why they think it looks horrible there. Show them just
the 5%, just that 5%.
Yeah, goodness gracious, man. Goodness gracious. All right, let's read some of these comments before we move on. Not even movie accomplishments we have achieved to help form this. Yes, everyone knows black culture is literally shaped all of America. It
shaped America, yeah. 100%.
Literally everything. Black Lightning ended too early, in my opinion. I agree.
Yes,
I still don't understand their justification for that. Static's new design looks dope. I think it's a firefighter jacket he has on.
I love it. I love his design.
Is it a firefighter jacket?
Yeah, it's a firefighter type of style to it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not that familiar with the look. So, you guys checking out Viola's new movie, The Woman King? I look, like I said before.
Absolutely.
Anything Viola Davis does, I have an interest in. I even saw that horrible movie she did with Liam Neeson.
The movie she also did with Chadwick Boseman. Ma. What was the movie?
Black Bottom. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yes, that movie was.
Oh, that movie was good, but that's not the movie I was talking about. But yeah, that movie was good. That movie was really good. And it was good to see Chadwick again. You know, see him, especially acting that damn good.
That was so good. Yeah.
That was really good to see.
You said if I'm going out in style too. Yeah.
Damn right. Mr. E says, don't forget Steel. Steel doesn't exist. I would never tell black youth. Steel was, you know.
I know what Steel is.
Okay. Look, it's a movie that never gets talked about because it shouldn't. So right. I thought maybe you didn't. Exactly. So I thought maybe you didn't know. I'm like, there's not many people that do. I don't ever bring that. Look, I appreciate black excellence in all forms, but as far my geekdom won't recognize that movie. You know what I'm saying? It just I can't. I can't. I'm sorry, Shaq. Two totally different characters, Blade and Black Panther. No, they are, but when people are saying the first black superhero, again, again, you want them to lean towards Black Panther, not Blade. You know what I'm saying? If you're showing kids what we can be. You don't want to show them Blade first. You want to show them.
We're showing kids what we actually are instead.
Yes, that we're royalty. Yeah. We're kings. You know, we're not vicious, blood-sucking, vampire hunting murderers.
Don't cross us though.
Yeah, don't cross.
Look, time out, Trevon. Yeah. Time out. Black Panther showed us. Black Panther showed us don't cross us. Hey, relax. Like, I'll never forget the look Okoye gave what's his name when he put his hand on T'Challa's shoulder and she just was like
just looked disgusted.
Like, yo, you want me to put him down? It's like, relax. No, he's fine. Yeah, that movie was just the writing and everyone's performance now is just
also the move or you will be moved.
Yes. And, that Civil War. Yeah, so that was awesome. You know what's funny? I love how neither one of them backed down, even though neither one of them knew the actual experience that either one of them had.
Yeah. Right? It fits the character perfectly. Yeah.
But it was one of those professional courtesies to where it was just like, okay. All right.
You got this.
I am still mad at T'Challa for ruining that. Like, I wouldn't have minded just 15, 20, 25, 30, 30.
He said he wouldn't even mind it, but he was busy.
He did acknowledge it.
He was like, I would love to see that. But no.
Like, I was like, damn, T'Challa, like, can we get like an hour of them fighting? And then you could say what you got to say. Like, damn, let's see something real quick, you know? But all right, I want to give a shout out before we move on into our main topics. I want to give a shout out to Basecamp, an indie Black-owned record label based in Central Jersey, where I am from. They make everything in-house, from beats to art to merch. Check out their site. I'll have it in our description. Excuse me. They have some heat coming all winter long from their debut artist, Precise. His debut album, Alone, drops March 14th. Make sure you guys check out the website where you'll see 2 singles they have out for him right now. Never Had, featuring D-Money, D-Money Sign, and Book of Brian. Make sure you guys check out Basecamp. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They are amazing. And you guys will be seeing one of their management members join us next week to continue to celebrate Black History Month by giving love to all Black creators. We'll be having numerous kinds of people join us for Black History Month and GVN Talk. But make sure you guys check out Basecamp. Trust me, I'm a huge fan of theirs. You will be a huge fan of theirs. And they're also super geeky, too. They get down with this stuff also. Talking Marvel, DC, Star Wars, video games, all that. So make sure you guys check them out. That's Basecamp. Again, I'll have the website in our description. So huge shouts out to them. But all right, let's move on. Let's get into our main topics. I want to start off with something that just dropped from the Hollywood Reporter. This is just a conversation. This isn't anything like crazy or anything. But Tom Holland would love to team up with Charlie Cox again. Quote, I was a big fan of Daredevil series, and I think he's a fantastic actor. I hope that one day we find a way for Spider-Man and Daredevil to team up again. I was just talking about this with Joel today because someone had posted a artwork of Daredevil's more recent look in the comics, and is it such a beautiful look? And
wait, which one?
Hold on, I'm gonna put it up here. I'm gonna put it up here so everybody can see it.
I don't want people to get confused with the Electra Daredevil and.
Hold on, Daredevil. I'm gonna put it up here. Give me 1 second. It's sending. You know, it's funny whenever actors give each other a shout out. It's like part of me is like, I don't believe you. Like when he says, like, I was a huge fan of this series. Like, could he be? For sure. Could he also be lying? For sure. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I always love when actors go, actually, I haven't seen it. Like I loved when what's his name? Sebastian Stan was saying, I haven't seen Spider-Man yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't seen it yet. I've heard great things. I do want to check it out. I appreciate that way more than him. Like, I saw Spider-Man, I thought it was crazy. And it's like, what was your favorite part? All of it.
I actually don't believe him. I think he has seen it. He just says that because he likes to pick with Tom Holland. That's fair.
Think. That could be true. But this is the look.
That's nice.
This is the look. Nice. And I told Joel, how beautiful would this look?
Wow. With
the new suit Spider-Man has perched on top of a building, just looking down over Hell's Kitchen. Bro, make that into a poster and I will hang that up in every available wall space in my house. This is Daredevil. I don't know what that Netflix look was. I guess budget was too much for them. This simplicity is Daredevil. Budget. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want Daredevil to look like. Oh man, I tell you, Netflix, what saved you is the fact that was a damn good series. Because if that wasn't, that suit was that bad. I would have never forgiven you for that. But AJ, my question to you is not about what Tom Holland said, because we take that as whatever. My question to you is, how long before you think we actually do see that with those two interacting?
I'll say 3 years tops.
3?
3 years tops. Actually, maybe 5. I'll give what we got now that's been announced a little bit to breathe, and then
3 years
because you still got a lot. Yeah, you still got a lot to deal with, especially with Multiverse of Madness, and then you have all the other Disney shows, Moon Knight. There's a lot. There's a lot that's going to happen. Okay. So I'll say about 4 or 5 years that they'll interact. And there was another tweet that Tom Holland said that he would like to work with Yelena, which is something I want to see because I want Kate Bishop to be in there too. So shout out to Haley over there.
They're all there.
Greatness.
They're all right there. All in the MCU.
How did I know you'd find a way to add her into this podcast, AJ? Like, it wasn't even natural. It was so forced. Like, yeah, Haley Steinfeld, let's put her in something, right? Like,
yeah, hey, she needs to be in everything. She needs to be in everything.
So, do y'all think we'll get the Young Avengers? Because I'm really hoping to see her team up with, like, you guys think we're going to get the Young Avengers?
I don't think they're going to be called Young Avengers. I think they're just going to be Avengers. I just think
they'll be called Young Avengers. I 100%
somebody will make the joke. I don't know if they'll be called that. Like,
I think I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this before. I'm probably 1,000% wrong, but there is an Avengers movie coming within the next 3 or 4 years. I think that movie will be Young Avengers. That will set up the larger Avengers movie to come. Because Young Avengers could be a series. It could be a movie. But just so everyone knows, Spider-Man is not a Young Avenger. I know many people think because he's young, he is an Avenger. Very rarely do they depict Spider-Man this young. He's usually a little bit older, so it makes more sense that he's part of the actual Avengers. So I wanted to put that out there because I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I can see all the young Avengers. No, but that's why I said, Trevon, I think the very next Avengers project will be theirs, whether it's a series or a movie. Because to me, it's like, I don't know if I need another massive Avengers team up yet. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you take the Avengers that you have. Because think about it. In Endgame, we didn't really get to see Carol Danvers really interact with them much as being part of the team. So I want to see whatever your new roster is kind of gel and, Shang-Chi, see those guys kind of interact more before you're now bringing in the youth. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this, AJ, I don't think they'll be the Young Avengers for long. Because I think the further you go into the MCU, the more you might get people that you might get Brie Larson like, I don't really want to be in as many Marvel movies as I did maybe 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So then you can go, okay, no problem. We have Miss Marvel we'll bring in. We got Monica Rambeau we can bring in. We don't always have to use you for these things. Tom Holland might go, look, I want to do this, this, and this. You know what? No problem. Get the fuck out of here. We got Miles. We'll bring Miles. You know what I'm saying? So I think we'll see that kind of slowly progress to where those older actors will kind of go, I want to be used more sporadically. And then the young Avengers will become actual honorary Avengers. But to just jump that, make them straight up Avengers, because they just need more growth.
So you know okay, so who are we talking about here? Somebody
Ant-Man's daughter. Ant-Man's daughter. I can't remember her name, sorry.
Wait, which one are we talking about now?
We're talking Young Avengers, the Young Avengers group. Like, what do we think in the MCU?
So you have Ironheart, you have Yelena, you have Kate Bishop, you have
wait, sorry. Hold on, stop 1 second. Because Trevon said a name that I put with Peter. Yelena won't be a Young Avenger. I think she'll just be an Avenger. Because it's like, what does she need to learn? Like the Young Avengers.
That's why I say I don't believe that's just too much. That's why I say I don't believe that they're going to be called Young Avengers. They're just going to be called Avengers. Because Carol is not going to become an Avenger. She's going to stay in space and do her own thing. Vision, I don't know what the fuck Vision they're going to do at this point.
AJ, being an Avenger doesn't mean you have to be on Earth.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about separation where, like before, Carol was doing her own thing.
I think with especially Ant-Man's daughter, she hasn't even become her hero yet. I believe she will in the next movie. So to make her an Avenger off of one appearance, that's a lot. Think about it.
It depends on how long what these other shows are going to do. We don't know if she's only going to have one appearance.
I just think if you do like a season or two or a movie or two of Young Avengers, allow them to grow together. You know what I'm saying? Allow them to grow together is fine. I'm not saying they will always be.
I mean, they can still do all that without being called Young Avengers. But yeah, that's
I just think if you call them Avengers and it's not a movie where I see Sam or Tom or Thor, it's very confusing.
Well, they all need someone to need someone to guide them anyway. And that's one of the reasons why I like Falcon and Winter Soldier, because Sam is right now is being treated as that mentor type. He's the one that's going to help influence the younger generation to become a better hero that they deserve to be.
You think
that's why we got that scene at the
grandson?
end.
Think the grandson's gonna? Because isn't
yes,
that
100%.
The grandson's gonna be
100%.
something.
Yeah, 100%. He will 100% join the team. But Tristan, I'm curious because you brought up the question, so I'm curious. What would you prefer? To give them time as a team together to kind of grow, or do you want to make them Avengers right off the bat?
I definitely want them to be young Avengers because, like, that's what we, at least initially, that's what we know that group of kids as. You know, Hawk, Kate Bishop, Wiccan, Speed, Hulkling, Stature.
Technically, that's West Coast Avengers, but yeah.
No, we had an actual Young Avengers.
No, yes. But that the character lineup is technically West Avengers.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, but we know they're not going to do West Coast Avengers. They missed that. Endgame should have ended where they asked Clint, "What are you going to do now that you're free and whatever?" And he's like, "I always thought about moving out west." And it's like, "Oh shit, like West Coast Avengers." The fact that they didn't do that, we will never get West Coast Avengers. We don't necessarily need it, but that would have been very cool to separate this team even more. So you're just expanding the team. So when they all come together, you're like, damn, there's like 50 of you. You know what I'm saying? But
that's why. Oh no, sorry. You can go on.
Where are Clint and Kate right now though? Like where? She said they're far away. No, they said they're far away.
Yeah,
in the middle of the states. Closer to West.
I don't know where they are, but I don't think that means they're going to build the West Coast.
I know.
Avengers, but yeah, I don't know where they are. They could be out.
That's funny.
We know how much they love their farmland. That's for sure. I want to welcome in Tia. I'm going to go right back to you, Tristan, but I want to welcome in Tia. What's going on, Tia?
Hello, everyone. I'm very tired after hours of playing Red Dead Redemption 2, so I apologize.
Greatness.
Yes. The only reason Tia stopped to do this podcast was I had her landlord cut all the power to her, so she would be forced to only do this rather than play that. But anyway, we're glad to have you, Tia. What I'm passing to Tristan was we were talking about AJ is saying he would rather, instead of Young Avengers, just making the kids honorary Avengers. So the conversation was us debating, like, should we get the kids kind of growing more as a team, just the kids?
Let me clarify. I still want what you're saying. Just keep the title as Avengers.
Like I said, I think it's a very dangerous game to do that, because I think when you sell it to mainstream, they know what the Avengers are. They know Thor, they know Captain America. And when you sit down in that movie and there is no Thor, no Captain America, no Captain Marvel,
I believe Thor is going to die in this movie. I believe that.
Why would you say that, AJ? Why would you say that?
I don't believe that at all.
I don't believe
my man Gore's going to come in there. Yeah. My man Gore's going to come in there like...
Again, I will remind you guys, because that's the same feeling Trevon had only 2 months ago.
I have not said this about
track record. No. I mean about Hawkeye. Marvel's track record is they have only murdered 2 superheroes. That is it. They've been going over 12 years and only 2 superheroes have died. So the likelihood of a third, and the fact that we believe
it's about time for that to happen.
We believe Guardians is about to kill 2 more heroes. So I doubt we'll get.
I am pretty sure that James Gunn is going to kill someone off in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
He's been very adamant that this is the last time we'll see this team together, adamant that this is his last, Marvel movie. And we saw how much fun he had killing off people in the Suicide Squad. So I feel like he wants to bring some of that to Marvel.
100%.
And he's already killed off, say, Yondu, a very beloved character. And he stands by that. So I don't doubt that James Gunn, as his swan song, isn't going to kill someone off.
Right. And I know, and Tristan, I'm passing it back to you. I know a lot of people think Thor is going to die because you can't have 2 Thors. But that's why I always said, I think what makes more sense is that Thor stays a new Asgard and becomes the All-Father. and Jane and Valkyrie go out and they join the Avengers, you know what I'm saying, as the honorary Thors, you know what I'm saying? Not Thors, but as the honorary Thor and Valkyrie, and just let Thor be the ruler there. Because if you notice in No Way Home, there is a news report that there is some chaos happening in New Asgard. So apparently whatever Valkyrie's doing, it ain't working. So I'm sure the first chance they see Thor, they're going to go, yo, what do we have to do to get you to stay here? Like, she can go. You have to stay. So it just makes more sense. Make Thor Allfather, and make, obviously, Jane the new Thor. Easy. No one has to die. Same as Clint didn't have to die, Trevon, for Kate to become the new Hawkeye. He could just retire.
That's not why. That is not why I said he had to die. I just thought the way they made it kept seeming, oh, I'm making home. I'm making home. I said, he ain't making it home. That's just what it is. That's just how
Trevon,
my mind works.
That's exactly what they did in Age of Ultron, where we all were, everyone walked into that movie saying, he will die, and we're okay with it, right? We're okay with it, because all we had before that was just Avengers, and he was used horribly in that. So we were like, fine, whatever, let him die in that. And then when he didn't, and Quicksilver died, it was just like,
Still upset over that.
Okay, all right, I guess he's here to stay, whatever. And it turned out to be great. Yeah, apparently. But Tristian, what team up do you want to see? You were going into that. What do you want to see turn out?
Well, I was just gonna say I really want to see that original Young Avengers lineup. Like I do think they should sort of grow into the role of being full-time Avengers. I do feel like somebody, even if they're not called the Young Avengers, somebody will make a joke about them being like the junior team. But I just want to see that original lineup of characters, and I can see it. I want to see it more so as a Disney Plus series. I don't think they should get a film like right out of the gate. But yeah.
I mean, look, I already see it, and everyone here knows, Tristan, you'll learn this. I always think of like scenarios whenever I get like passionate about something. So as you're saying that, I'm picturing Sam being like the big cameo for that Young Avengers series or movie, whatever it turns out to be. And and Kate going, so like, are we Avengers now? And he's like, no. And they're like, but we just saved the day. And he's like, you're like the Young Avengers. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. There we go. Because Sam is totally the personality that would go, no, you're not Avengers.
Right.
Well, we just saved the day. You're like younger Avengers. Young Avengers. There we go. That's what you are. You're Young Avengers. So I could see that definitely happening, but that's why I'm with you. I want to see them grow into it to where, because like I said, these are very young actors that you have in these roles. And those are very old actors that you have in those Avengers roles. So you can just slowly progress it out and slowly progress them in. And now we're just all Avengers, right? So that's just how I view it. Everyone has to have that maturation and grow before you're just like, well, yeah, you're an Avenger. No, it took forever for most of these people to become Avengers. Sam had to almost die 6 times for Captain America to become an Avenger. So you can't just get it off birthright. All right, Trevon, what do you want to see? Do you want to see young into Avengers or just call them Avengers?
See, for me, I just do not see them young enough to call themselves that. Ant-Man's daughter is grown. Kate is grown. They're all grown to me. I just don't see it working that way.
Well, are you going by the actors? Because if you're going by their actual age in their said projects, Scott's daughter is only supposed to be like 16. You could say Kate's probably, AJ, you have yourself muted. Kate's probably maybe 17, 18. That's what I said.
Yeah,
Yelena won't work as far as Young Avengers because she's probably more.
I guess I'm mostly curious about Wanda's kids. Like, honestly, I just want, like, are they gonna?
I don't believe they'll use
that out.
I think they'll pull.
They're gonna age them up.
Yeah, they'll pull an end game with Cassie. Where it's just like she was,
or they'll pull a WandaVision. Remember, they made themselves grow a WandaVision.
Yeah, they did.
So I was like, I mean, it. Oh,
really? Okay.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I'm sorry. I was gonna say there's a rumor that in Multiverse of Madness, like some teenage versions from them from another world are gonna be pulled into the main MCU, or they're gonna be
I can see that.
encountered in some way. So they're supposed to be introducing older versions of them. That's what the rumors say.
It makes it
Yeah.
look. If I'm those kids, I'm pissed. But that makes all the sense in the world. If I'm those kids, I'm like, damn.
Well,
They,
Great
they're
introduction.
tweeting and stuff about it too all the time. I was
Right.
like,
I mean,
oh,
not for nothing, I would have been pissed if I was the actress who had played Scott Lang's daughter in Endgame, because it's like, oh, I'm getting queued up for something real cool, and they're like, no, not you.
No, you're just a bridge. You're the bridge. You're the bridge to get us to who we want to get to. But we couldn't afford it at the time. We can afford it now. So you can go. But no, I mean, look, we've seen that a lot. We were supposed to get Mary Jane in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. She filmed it and everything. They were just like, yikes, no. But go ahead, Trey.
we'd rather have Sinister Six.
Yeah, we'd rather
Yeah.
build something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not ready for you yet. But go ahead. So you said the age is hard for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'd be called. Like I said, I just think they'll just be a joke that gets thrown out there. There's Young Avengers just because they're younger, not necessarily young. I don't know. I just want to see how they do it, because I'm just trying to figure out what's her name again? Louis Dreyfus. What is she doing? The one
Fontaine.
Yeah, so she's getting her group, but I guess Yelena is not in that group anymore. So I just don't. All she got is USA.
You don't know that.
Well, I mean, I feel like she had a little change of heart, and the Hawkeye.
We don't know that.
Like,
all we know is that she changed her heart in killing Clint. That's all we know. Because we don't know how she's working for Contessa. Does Contessa have something on her?
Well, some of what she showed her, that was a lie. Like, basically, like,
for sure. And I strongly believe Yelena will be upset, but I don't know if that's upset enough to ruin whatever Contessa has there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hold is.
Because she did say she worked with her before that.
Right.
So I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm just curious what that is. Like, is that who they go up against? I need like some more information, like of them actually building this team first. We haven't really gotten any indication that these people will even interact yet. So it's just like, I want to see.
Yeah,
yes,
true.
we saw stature, we saw but I want to see how this all plays out first before I be like, yay, Young Avengers. I'd rather like, yay, Thunderbolts or whatever she's doing first rather than these Young Avengers. But yeah.
That's fair. Look, I would love to see Maria Hill come back down to earth and recruit. I've been saying it for the longest. I thought if Nick Fury was going to have a long life in the MCU, I wanted at some point for that life to be like anyone who's ever read the books or watched Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Nick Fury at some point said, all right, Maria, you be the face of this. I'm going to be in the shadows doing stuff. And she obviously became the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. We clearly know S.H.I.E.L.D.'s not alive now. But I just kind of want to see Maria in a more authoritative position, where she's kind of running things and Fury is kind of just behind her, helping her out however he can. So, who knows? Maybe as we age all the other Avengers out at some point, Fury will go with them and Maria will be the new Fury for the next, up and coming Avengers. I just want to see her in a more authoritative position. That's just what I'm used to. But Tia, how do you want to see it play out? Do you want to see the youth kind of grow together before becoming actual honorary Avengers? Maybe starting off as young Avengers? Like, how do you want to see that play out?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't ever really put a whole lot of thought into it. Only because I don't know. I just don't have I don't have an attachment really to a lot of these like younger characters. I mean, obviously, I love even though we talked about Yelena wouldn't really be involved in that, but I obviously love Kate Bishop. But I don't know. I just don't really have at least how WandaVision, like how her children are at the age they are now. I have really no desire to see them fighting crime. I would like to wait to see them get aged up, then become interested. So I don't really have an opinion either way on that. I think they would have to develop it more. You know what I'm saying? I think, as you said, with the Avengers, we're so used to having them as these really adults. So it would be a little jarring to see then all of a sudden toddlers next to them. So it'd be interesting to see where Marvel goes with it.
I mean, and again, we remember Stark's regret when Peter disappeared, was that I brought this child into this, and now I'm watching him die, you know? So I kind of feel as though the other Avengers would have to feel the same way, especially because most of these characters are sidekicks to those characters, some being actual children of those said characters. So to just thrust them into danger kind of just seems like, no, because I could see them more so getting into danger rather than the parents putting them in positions to get into danger. Right. But just calling them Avengers kind of rubs me the wrong way, like when Titans was announced. Like to completely skip Teen Titans and just make them adult Titans was just like, I kind of feel like that would have been fun seeing them so young and inexperienced. You got Dick Grayson where it's like, yo, I've been Robin and, you know, for so long, I know how to do this. Maybe not how to be a part of a team, but I know how to crime fight. I would have preferred to have seen a younger Robin that's still fresh in crime fighting, that's making all these mistakes, and we see them learn together.
Not saying fuck Batman.
Of course. Look, last time we were on a podcast together, Trevon, you got me started with that. Not on this one. I went down a deep hole on that. But before we get into more news, we got a whole bunch of comments here. Shout out to All in the Game and Mr. E. Mr. E was speaking about the Daredevil suit I showed. He said it looks similar to Affleck's suit, and no. We'll get to it. Just your average Joe and Mr. E are talking about in 1 second. All in the Game, thank you. Cassie Lang, aka Stature, thank you very much. Who should be the leader of the Young Avengers? I'm not too familiar with the team other than that anime. Do not count that animated one. Don't count that animated one. I don't know if I really need a specific leader. I mean, I know we got the joke when Avengers came out to where, Age of Ultron came out to where, you know, they were like, oh, Stark's the leader. And he's like, no, I just pay for everything. That's Cap. Go to Cap.
I feel like Kate might lead them since she seems like eager. Like she was like, oh, you know what my name would be? Like she's already eager about it.
I wouldn't mind that.
I think that's why Kate shouldn't be, is because of how eager she is. I think whoever is the most kind of, I don't want to say calm because I don't want to make it sound like she's crazy and irrational out here.
No,
but
she's crazy.
Well, yes, she is, to a degree. I don't see Kate being in that position. I see her more so as like I'm quick to jump into something, and it's like, Kate, we didn't even case the place. Like we don't even know what's out there, and you just jumped in and started shooting arrows.
Like, come on, Cassie, come on.
Like, she definitely shouldn't be the leader. I don't know. Again, like Tia said, we haven't even fully seen this team form as far as character wise. Yeah. So, you know, let's see what some more of these characters look like, and then maybe we can have a better idea. Maybe by that point we see Kate again and she's more mature.
And I did want to point out really quick, because like they could do with Kate what they've done with Peter Parker, right? When we first met Peter Parker, he was very hopeful, eager,
wanted to be an Avenger, yeah.
You know, wanted to be an Avenger. And then obviously everything that comes with being an Avenger kind of brought him a little bit more down to earth, matured him, you know, kind of maybe hardened him a little. And we could see that happen with Kate. She's so eager, and yeah, she's had this cute little fun run-in with Clint, but it's like when you're actually seeing people die, when you're actually seeing what comes with being a hero, I think maybe that could take away that like eagerness a little bit from her.
But yes, that definitely could happen for Kate. I would say the only pushback on that is what you're saying Peter is now, he legit just became in No Way Home. No,
and I'm not saying that would happen with, you know, overnight with Kate. I'm saying that
yeah.
I'm saying that could be an arc that we see from her even in the next 10 years, you know?
Okay, I'm with you on that. Let's see. Eli Bradley, aka Patriot, America Chavez, Miss Marvel, Speed, and Wiccan. Maybe Kid Loki. No more Loki. No Kid Loki. We're good. No more. Kate Bishop as co-leader with Patriot. I mean, she could. Again,
that was in the comic. It was actually in the comic that they
right. Yeah, that's what all in the game is referring to. I don't need Kid Loki. I don't need adult Loki right now. So no, I don't need to double down on that.
Give me all the Lokis. All of them.
I like the Thor impression there, AJ. Good job.
They will absolutely use the brand name Young Avengers for more likely a Disney Plus show to sell even more subscriptions, but can't also rule out a movie. I'm with you, all in the game. I'm completely with you. To not use the name Young Avengers would just only confuse people, like I said. So calling them Young Avengers
very, very, very possible. Yeah, I can definitely see
People aren't dumb.
Mr. E says his money is on Rocket dying. I agree, especially when the rumor came out that this movie will be about Rocket's home planet, more so of his origins. It kind of sounds like someone that's gonna die. So I'm with you there. Maybe Nebula and Gamora. Here's the reason why I don't think Nebula and Gamora will die. A, not enough people care about Nebula. It won't have that big of an impact. B, Gamora just died. Gamora just died. You bring her back to die again? That's
Nebula.
I know. Nebula had like one of the best like redemption arcs in the MCU.
Wow.
I'm not arguing any of that, but I'm saying the likelihood of an entire theater going when Nebula dies is slim to none. I mean, it's not one of the more popular characters. I'm not saying no one would be hurt, but an entire theater gasping.
I literally think that the only character that they could kill to get that sort of reaction that you're talking about, Juwaan, is if they kill Rocket. Honestly, 100%. I think that's the only character that you get that sort of reaction for.
I agree. That's why I said Drax doesn't matter because he doesn't even want to be there anymore. Batista, he doesn't want to do it without.
He can get out of there anyway.
So I think the theater will just go, okay, all right, cool. Who else? Rocket and Groot, they'll feel that for. Gamora just died. The whole movie is about finding the new Gamora that is now alive. Why would I want to see her die? That would have no impact. And Quill, it would shock people more so than hurt them.
I would clap.
You would clap.
Nothing.
No, keep on talking what you're saying.
You didn't hear me.
Okay.
We're not going down this rabbit hole again.
Right.
We fought way too many times.
I said that you weren't supposed to stop. You're supposed to keep going.
No. Juwaan always stops.
If you heard it, you heard it. You didn't.
Yeah, sorry. You make me very frustrated, Trevon, with that take. Let's see.
I know.
Thor, I'm confident won't be killed off, but rather put out of. I don't think he'll be put out of commission. I think the best thing for Thor is just to make him the All-Father. So it gives him something.
Reinvigorated. They're not getting rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Chris Hemsworth saying, "Look, you guys clearly see I'm not doing anything else, right? I can only do but so many of those. Let me be Thor for as long as possible. I do see Thor being the equivalent of the kid that doesn't want to move out. And it's just like he's smart. He has everything. He just loves the comfortability of staying at home. That's it. There's nothing else to it. I'm comfortable.
Well,
I don't really want to do anything
film there.
I mean, especially since they like reinvented his character essentially, because I mean, we've all read the articles where Chris Hemsworth said he was pretty much ready to like hang up Mjolnir after freaking the Dark World, and then I can't pronounce it correctly. It in the words of Darcy, Mew Mew.
That's fine. I'll take Mew Mew. I like Mew Mew.
Mew Mew. But yeah, I mean, once Taika Waititi came in and like breathed new life into the character, I think Hemsworth is completely on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. On the game says not likely to kill Gamora or Groot again. So yeah, most likely Rocket. I agree. On the game says Kate's 22 years old in the show, not 17. She just graduated college. I thought she was in college. I
thought she was in college.
Graduated. But no, I'm not saying her age all in the game is why she shouldn't lead. I'm saying she's a new hero. Like she legit just became a hero. She's super inexperienced. So that's why I'm like, I don't necessarily need a de facto leader just yet. Because when you watch the first Avengers, like obviously Cap is calling out the plays and whatnot, but it took a while for Stark to accept that. You know what I'm saying? They were just two alpha males.
Wait, so when y'all say leader, do y'all mean captain? Because when you say leader, that means someone that's more experienced. So Vision could be the leader of that said team, or
100%. That's exactly how it should be. I think
but
Vision
there can be
should
a
the
captain
leader.
within that team, like anybody, like
The vision we
Kate,
got right now,
like
drill
Ironheart.
sergeant.
There's a difference between a leader and a captain within.
I don't disagree. But just speaking to what All in the Game is saying, I was not saying her age is what canceled her from being a leader or a captain. So I'm not saying that. Maria Hill will be getting more screen time in Secret Invasion show. Disney Plus show with more time is ideal for developing that relationship with the Young Avengers team instead of a movie. That's very fair. And the only reason why I'm not putting much stock in Maria Hill in a Secret Invasion show is somebody at some point is going to have to showcase themselves to be a Skrull for this show to have the levity it needs. She seems like the most apropos person for them to be like, she was a Skrull. So I'm like, I don't trust anything of that show. So that's why I'm not putting much stock in how much development we'll get with anybody. I don't know who the fuck's a Skrull. But they need to show a Skrull, like a big name, at some point soon, that we can look at and go, damn, they were a Skrull. Okay, all right, that makes sense. I don't know who.
Whole time.
I don't know who, but it has to be somebody we actually care about. Like, don't make it a side character that we were like, oh, Luis is a Skrull. Who cares? Like, he didn't do anything. He was just making jokes.
Don't hate on Luis.
Yeah, don't.
No, I don't have any hate on him, but I'm saying he didn't do anything dangerous. So it's like,
it was Peter Parker.
Skrull. Oh God, it should not be Peter Parker. Please don't make it Peter Parker. Please don't make it.
I say happy.
What if it was Aunt May? Aunt May?
No, because then she
would have known by now.
He would have changed.
We would have known.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I was just hoping. I hate that she.
Look, a lot of people did. I accepted it for what it needed to be. But yeah, she would have turned back. So it's no one we've seen die on camera. That we can say. Anyone you've seen die on camera, they are not a Skrull. So that eliminates Stark. For anyone out there, it's like, well, maybe Stark is not a Skrull. He is dead.
It was Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man were Skrulls.
Captain America.
That's where he went. Captain America.
Captain America.
I don't know.
Sam Wilson.
The only reason why I don't think it would be Steve Rogers is, would a Skrull feel that invested in going back to live his actual life the way he wanted it to be? That seems very weird. Like, why would you go back, live his life, and then come back old as hell? Like, why would they just take all the stones and just have it? That to me would be very good. If he popped up young and was just like, I was a Skrull. Why? Why
Pepper Potts.
That's a lot.
Oh gosh, it's Pepper Potts. Wow.
Well, only reason I don't think it's Sharon Carter for one reason. She was wearing facial technology to be someone else, where she could have just shapeshifted to being someone else.
That's true.
So again, look, that show had a lot of terrible writing. So look, that could have been one of them.
Okay. We're gonna stop that.
I said this, Tristan, you weren't part of the breakdown we did weekly, but I said you miss a huge opportunity that when she was walking down the stairs, instead of taking the call on the stairs, she took it like somewhere off to the side. And then after she hung up, you kind of saw her face just like turn green, and we're like, oh, okay, that makes more. Okay, cool, great. But the fact that they didn't kind of makes me believe to make her a Skrull now kind of seems like you're retconning. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to make
these Skrulls, we haven't seen them copy abilities, right?
No, those are Super Skrulls. We won't see them.
We haven't seen those. Okay.
Yeah, we won't see them yet.
We haven't seen them.
We'll probably see Super Skrulls as early as Captain Marvel's movie. Possibly. Right, the Marvels. You might see a Super Skrull in that. It would make the most sense, honestly. But I think if we're thinking realistically here, it's someone of importance, but is not an Avenger. Right? So I was thinking it might be Ross. Ross might be a Skrull. We know Contessa in the actual comics was a Skrull. She could be a Skrull. It just has to be someone that is moving, like Ross essentially set up the dissension of the Avengers, right? Mm-hmm. That seems like a very Skrull thing to do. To give them something that separates them knowing that if they were separated, it gives you all the clearance to do all the crazy shit you want to do, like injecting into your blood to become Red Hulk, putting together the Dark Avengers. It gives you all that freedom to do that if you're Ross. So Ross to me is someone that is important, but not an Avenger. So it could make sense of him being a Skrull. So that's what I see as far as Skrulls. But someone part of the Avengers, that's too much. That's way too much to do that. But all right, go ahead, Tia.
No. I was agreeing with you.
All right, let's read a few more of these comments and then we're gonna talk Grand Theft Auto news. Was just fact checking you saying okay, I got you all in the game. Okay, no problem. Yes, Mr. E, we will talk about that. Just hold on. At 22, so making her a senior in college. Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. All in the game. I wasn't clear how old she was or what year of college she was in. So I just wasn't sure. Marvel.
Let's keep this in mind. There are some 16 or 17-year-olds in college too. So,
prodigies.
Yeah. Again, that's not even the argument here. It's just Marvel is very horrible with giving us times and specific dates and ages. So I'm like, I had no idea how old this girl was supposed to be. I mean, look, technically, I could have just added on how old I thought she was during Avengers and then just tacked that on with how many years to present day. But who wants to do any of that? But anyway, let's talk about the news that we got. I'm glad you thought that was funny, Tia. Thank you. I appreciate that. But let's talk about some Grand Theft Auto news. Tia, I'm going to start with you. Rockstar has confirmed that work on Grand Theft Auto 6 is well underway. We only have to wait until 3047 to get it, but it is underway, one step at a time. How excited are you, Tia, that we will be getting a follow-up to a game that came out 15 years ago, it feels like?
Well, first of all, it came out 9 years ago.
Are we sure? Because there's two things that I could think of that I swear have no dates attached. When The Rock was named as Black Adam, I swear to God, I thought I was 10. I'm 28 now. In the last Grand Theft Auto, it feels like I hadn't even graduated high school yet. And that was over 10 years ago. So I'm like, I kind of feel like this was maybe 15, 30, 40 years ago where this last Grand Theft Auto came out. So are you excited, Tia, that we could be millennials away from maybe another Grand Theft Auto?
I mean, I'm very excited. Obviously, we've all said for years that Rockstar has to be coming out with a 6th Grand Theft Auto. I mean, there's been rumors forever, but Rockstar has never actually officially confirmed. And it just feels nice to have them actually confirm that we're going to get a 6th Grand Theft Auto. A lot of people, including myself, and I believe you as well, Juwaan, believe that the definitive edition was just Rockstar trying to get everyone off their asses about asking for a 6th Grand Theft Auto. And clearly we saw how shit the definitive edition was. So it's like, Rockstar, you're gonna have to just come out and say something. So that's very cool. I'm excited as hell. Now, I have played and replayed GTA 5 1,000 times. Obviously, everyone is super into online, but it's like, where's the 6th one? So I'm excited. I don't believe gave a definitive date. As you said, Juwaan, I mean, they say it could be 5 or 6 years from now.
Sure.
And I have to say that I am fairly certain, now this isn't backed up at all, it's just an opinion, I'm fairly certain that the 6th one will be the last one. The fact there has never been this much time in between a Grand Theft Auto game. This is the most amount of time that we've had. I feel that maybe their hearts just aren't as much into it. And I say that with a comparison now to playing Red Dead Redemption 2. That's also a Rockstar title, and how much more you can do with Red Dead as opposed to what you can do with GTA 5. And I almost feel as if Rockstar is like, we've now come out with 5 main GTAs, 1,000 side GTAs. We're done at this point. It's taken over 10 years to do a 6th one. They're going to pour everything into it. And I believe at that point, they're going to walk away and just concentrate on other titles. As far as when it takes place, GTA 6, where we're going to be at, who's going to be the protagonist, we don't know. But I'm still excited regardless. At this point, I think played through GTA 5 the story 4 times. I think I have to take a break.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. I've done it at least 15. But anyway, no, I think it should be in Vegas. I think you should explore Vegas. I mean, come on. I mean, I'll never forget when my uncle was playing San Andreas, because I remember I still believe, and this is just my opinion, this is not me factually saying anything, my favorite all-time GTA will always be Vice City. Always.
I remember you saying that.
City. I will always hold Vice City up, but I'll never forget when he's playing San Andreas and you could go to a strip club. And I remember saying, this is insane. Like, wait a minute, this is crazy. And then when you get to GTA 5, the fact that you not only could go in there, you could get the private dance, you can entice her to go home with you, and then have her on speed dial. I played this too many times. Anyway, I think they should go to Vegas for so many reasons. But to your point, Tia, and I'm going to pass this on to Tristian, to your point, I don't think it'll be their last one, only because you don't have a definitive successor, right? Mm-hmm. So when you look at it, you're kind of just like, all right, so if you're Rockstar, what is your it can't be Red Dead. Red Dead can't be your successor, right? Because when you think about it, you can only go but so long in Red Dead before it's like, well, now there's cars. You know what I'm saying? Now there's like, there's other things. It takes the fun out of riding on horseback and whatnot. And you know how much easier it makes to just run over a deer and a bear than me trying to escape it on horseback. So I'm like, it kind of takes the luster out of it, and you can't go too far back because then you lose your rifles and whatnot. And I'm not playing a game where you're making me shoot a bow and arrow for all of the fucking game. I tell you that right now. I ain't doing that.
Well, so before you move over to Tristian, I just want to say really quick, I've talked about this before with, like, you know, with my boyfriend, with friends and everything, like, where does GTA 6 go? And Las Vegas would be a good one. I almost would like to see it, though, be in Chicago. You know, we've been to New York, we've been to Miami, we've been to California, you know, albeit the fictionalized versions of it. But what about Chicago? Chicago, you know, is also a very well-known city to have that sort of, you know, gameplay fun in and everything. You know, you want to go to New York City for the grittiness. You want to go to Miami for, you know, in the 80s for the grittiness. You want to go to certain parts of California for the grittiness. Why not go to Chicago for the grittiness?
I will say, if there are two places that would not want that, it would be Chicago and Detroit. Chicago and Detroit are already a real life Grand Theft Auto.
No, I know.
Murder rates in those two places have never been higher. So I think if you're Detroit, you're like, whoa, I don't want you to make it seem like it's fun for all this murder that happens here. Don't bring this to us. You leave that in New York for all for all that. No, but I mean,
okay,
Chicago.
Well, what if they have like a, you know how in the past they've had like what was it, 1960 something in London or something like that? Like, what if you do like a side GTA where it's like in
like
19
and stuff like that?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah,
1930s, like GTA Chicago.
I think now you're trending on Mafia territory, because I think Mafia takes place in some of those big times. But I wouldn't mind that at all. I would, especially hell, if GTA found a way to get the likeness where I could play as Al Capone, and you're playing the rise of Al Capone. But I think the only reason why Chicago, to me, I don't know, is because LA has the luster. New York has the luster. That's why I said the next place should be Vegas. Go to Vegas. Go bigger. Where it's nightlife all day. Like New York usually is nightlife at night. LA at night. Vegas is all day. You know what I'm saying? You'll see someone doing cocaine for breakfast, and you're like, "What is this?" It's like
I mean, like, it's just like at this point, we've been now to like Los Angeles twice. We've been to New York City twice. Maybe go back to Miami.
LA technically. Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Yep, New York twice, LA twice. You're right.
So, okay, so maybe Las Vegas or even Miami again, a modern day Miami.
A modern day Vice City? What? Yes! Cocaine for breakfast! But Tristian, What are your thoughts on the GTA 6 getting announced?
Honestly, I haven't played Grand Theft Auto since San Andreas. Was that like that was the third one, right? Or the
Not technically, because there was
Okay.
an original Grand Theft Auto where I think you couldn't get out of your car.
So technically,
Wow,
I just
never
wanted
played
to
that.
throw it out there because like I watched like a documentary and everything. You had GTA 1 and 2, which were like super old school graphics. Then you had 3, which was like the 3D era, and then the 2 after that were Vice City and San Andreas, and then they had GTA 4, then they had GTA 5. So it's like they've had like 6. It's like GTA 6 is the next one, but there's been all these other ones in between, and San Andreas was one of those like in between ones.
Okay, I get you. Yes, that's why I didn't have a number. Got you. Okay, I get it. So Vice City was like an extension of GTA, not the actual linear timeline of one.
Exactly.
I get you. I didn't even know they had a documentary. That is dedicated.
Well, it's on YouTube. It was like, like a gamer YouTube thing, and they like
I thought you meant like they actually did, because I'm like, that would be really interesting to see how they come up with some of this crazy stuff that they do. Damn, now I'm thinking about Vice City. Anyway, Tristan, back to you. So you haven't played since San Andreas.
Right. I will say this. I admire y'all for actually like finishing the game, because my sisters and I, all we would do was like, we just go around and shoot people. Like that's all we would do. I'd never beat that game, or Vice City. So like, you know what? I want to get this new one. Whenever the 6th one come out, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll get that one so I can actually finish the Grand Theft Auto game. So we'll see.
Tristan, stop lying. You're just gonna start shooting.
I mean, but it sounds good. It sounds good to say I'll try. I'm gonna try to play.
I've only ever beaten I've only ever beaten Vice City, and then 4 and 5. I've never beat another GTA game outside of that. Because I remember when I played because I never really did that with Vice City. I just followed the story. But when my uncle was playing San Andreas, he had bought something in the game, right? And then I remember seeing it, and it blew my mind. He killed the dude and then took his money back and still had what he bought. Yeah. And I remember looking at that going, you could do that? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, what did you do in Vice City? I said, I just followed, like, even in Vice City, I was stopping at red lights. Like, I wasn't zooming through. I was literally playing that game like a perfectionist. And then I'm watching him in San Andreas mauling down men, women, children, buying a coffee and then killing the barista and taking the money. Yes. Like, what is this?
You never abide by traffic laws in the GTA games.
I was younger. Yeah, I haven't done it since. I remember that. I remember when my dad got me GTA 5. I remember him going, "How far in the story are you?" I said, "Story." Like, yeah, the story. I said, I've just been murdering people for hours. Like, he's like, there's a story.
So
follow it.
So
I said, I'll get to it at some point. At some point, I'll get to it. I mean, the best fun is just like racking up your stars and then trying to get away from your stars being racked. That's the most fun ever. Yes. Story. I'm like, I didn't even know my character's name until 16 days after buying. Like, just driving around trying to kill people. But I want to get to the comments before I go to you, Trevon and AJ. Joe didn't know LA was twice. LA was twice. They don't have to advance Red Dead as far as timeline. They can just do new stories and a new map and areas. See, the problem with that is I enjoy the fact that GTA does not have a connective tissue as far as each character necessarily interacting with the characters that came before. So if Red Dead is legit in the same timeline as the story I just ended, it's kind of like, well, now it kind of seems like you have to incorporate the characters from that game in this new game because the map is expansive. So in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can go so far, right? So it's like, well, it doesn't seem like a town would be outside of the towns already that I could go to. So I'd be like, I should be able to interact with the people I just did. And GTA doesn't usually, I mean, not GTA, Rockstar doesn't usually do that. They progress it. That's why they move city to city. So it's not like, all right, you play with Michael in this game. He didn't die. So guess what? Michael's in GTA 6. They don't do that. They like to progress it. So there's no connective tissue there. So I don't see them doing that. I see if they want to do another Red Dead, they progress. It doesn't have to be 10 years down the line, but I'm saying I don't think Red Dead can get to Red Dead 6 before we're just like, all right, there's cars now. Now you're just Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying you can't go too far in Red Dead. You got to end that a lot sooner than you end GTA. Trevon, what are your thoughts, man? Because I already know you're giving up hope on Warner Brother games. You're giving up hope on that Harry Potter game. Does this bring you some kind of happiness in your gaming world right now?
See, I used to play Grand Theft Auto 5 a lot, just because it just was let out the frustration. Just get on there and just kill people and run people over and hit the cop, try to get away from the cop.
We're gonna get so flagged.
I'm just saying that's what I used to do in the game.
Trevon likes to murder people in Grand Theft Auto.
In Grand Theft Auto, correct. So I don't know if it was GTA. I don't know if it was that one. Whatever one. I think I've done this to all of them, where I figured out how to get. I think you could cheat code or whatever, where I could get the rocket launcher and stuff like that. I love the rocket launcher. Absolutely my favorite thing. Absolutely my favorite thing. So just getting on top of a building and just launching them, just watching the chaos. It's just so fun. And I feel like I just really wonder if the game will still be like that. Like, will they still let the chaos fly?
I feel like they have to, because that's
I've been hearing about
essentially
complaints and stuff though. I've been hearing about complaints about like people.
Who's complaining?
The game can't be that violent anymore. Like
they say that, but
I mean, for real, I'm serious. Like
GTA has been this way since
we're gonna do another one.
GTA has been this way since its creation, and I think that
I know.
They almost thrive on the fact that people are going to be outraged by it.
Tell you what, whoever said that, do me a favor. Let them use your likeness to be in the next GTA game. Just so we could, you could be a playable character. No harm will come. You just be a playable character we get to just talk to and have therapy sessions with. Not really. We're going to run you over forward, backward. But
I've
Trevon,
never done the story.
Where most people's frustrations with GTA comes from is the idea that kids play it. That's usually where it comes from. And they believe that it kind of formulates kids' minds to, albeit I've never seen a kid play Arkham Knight and then come to school dressed up as Batman.
Well, at that point, whose fault it really is it? At this point,
I saw that there was a mod of like Superman or whatever. I need to figure out how to get that.
That's only PC. That's only PC.
I need that. I need that. That's what I need.
Trevon, all those mods
in Grand Theft Auto.
You're right.
All those mods are on
out of something.
All those mods are on the computer.
So
if you play with a system, you unfortunately can't do it.
Okay.
Right. Unfortunately.
It looks so fun.
But yeah, I agree with AJ. That's the fault of the parents. I told you guys this story before. I almost got fired at GameStop for talking a mom out of buying her 10-year-old GTA 5. He just brings it up and his mom's like, what game do you want? Hurry up, we gotta go. And he's like, GTA 5. She's like, all right, can you ring me up? And I'm like, I looked at the kid, he looked at me, and he was just like, I'm like, ma'am, do you know what this game is rated? I don't really have time. I said, ma'am, this game has nudity, murder, smoking, strippers, sex, everything in this game. And she just looks over him like, what? And I'm like, yes, I don't think. How old is he? 10? Yeah, he shouldn't play this. And then she puts it back and they leave. And I swear to God, if there's ever been a case where someone has created a villain's origin story, I constantly lock my door every time.
But AJ's completely right with that. It's like a 10-year-old can't go out and buy these games themselves. Their parents are buying it for them. So it's like, don't take away from us actual adults because some parents don't know how to do their own research.
Yeah, and look, and don't take away from my 8-year-old brother that I allow to play GTA 5 with me all the time. Like, don't ruin it for him. What's wrong with you? Stupid people. Anyway, but Trevon, did you want to add anything else?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, I'm looking forward to the fun. They make another one. Hopefully just as great as the last one. Just let me run wild.
I wonder if Juwan, I wonder if they're gonna go back to a single protagonist or stick with the three like they did in GTA 5.
That's interesting. I think when you do 3, you make it more expansive. Because they each live in different walks of life. Right. Like Trevor didn't live in a neighborhood that Michael lived in. Because you could either live in a strip club or his trailer. Right. So his walk of life is drastically different than Michael's. We saw where what's his name came from and then where he ended up at. So it's like 3 different walks of life. Franklin, yes, thank you. I was thinking CJ in my head, and I was just like, it's not that.
That's San Andreas, man.
you guys really love this game. It's so cool.
You know what's so funny? So
I know none of the names. Nothing.
I will say this right now. I am 31 years old. I have not really played video games in the past 6-7 years. And it was just during the pandemic, I was watching my boyfriend playing GTA 5. And I was like, this looks like so much fun. And then I just took the controller and completely took over and everything. And I'm like, oh, this is why I liked playing video games. Okay. So it's really fresh in my mind.
I remember when that game came out, I just lost track. I lost track of days, months, minutes, hours. Everything was gone. Life was Grand Theft Auto. That game was just, it was such a, what is this? I've never had this experience, obviously, until Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, and then driving in your car in real life is just super boring now.
Right? Like when you're driving by someone and you're just like, I could run you over. It's like, no, you can't. It's not GTA. You can't run them over. Sorry.
Sorry. I messed my car up.
Yeah,
mess my car
I'd mess my car up. So not the murder part. Your decal. AJ, I'm gonna pass it to you. Trevon has things to work through. Don't buy GTA, Trevon. AJ, are you excited for this? I know you are a gamer, but I've never really heard you talk about GTA.
Yeah, I'm glad for the people that are finally getting a 6 GTA. I'm glad for them. Me personally, I don't care. I have other games to be playing. Elder Rings is coming out.
That is true.
We're getting multiple Star Wars games.
That is true.
I'm gonna be busy with the games. I'm not gonna. I'd probably play Grand Theft Auto probably 2 or 3 times in my lifetime, and that was only over at my cousin's house, and we didn't really play the story. We just did what everybody else did.
But to be fair to our viewers, AJ is only 15 years old, so I mean he's not been.
Oh, shoot.
He's not been here for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So that's why he's only played 2 of them. Sorry, I always say this. I do a podcast called Figure It Out, where everyone is just way older than me. And it's very rare that I do podcasts with people younger than me. So whenever I get a chance to remind AJ that I'm older than him, I have to take it. You know what I'm saying? I have to swing it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, please, yeah. Juwaan, when you just said you were 28 years old, I was like, wait, isn't Juwaan 23?
Oh, God. Thank you. Yes, I am 23. I'll take that. I'm surrounded with siblings who remind me they think 30 is old as hell. And then I go, well, our parents are 40. What is that? Oh, that's older. And then I'm like, well, what do you think your grandparents are? Oh, they're just ancient. I'm like,
I can tell you right now, as someone who's 31, about to turn 32 in a month, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So
yeah. I turned 33 in October, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
And you know what's funny? What do people?
Hey, October babies, let's go.
Yeah.
What do shout out? My mom's birthday's in October. But what do people always tell you? With age comes so much knowledge. And I swear, in 28 years, I have just missed that boat every birthday. Every birthday, I'm just like, does it kick in? Is it do I snort it? What is it? Where is this knowledge you speak of?
There is no knowledge. It's with more age comes more bills and more stress.
That's all it is. That's really all it is. I tell you, it's all it is. It's
and why back pain. And back pain.
And back pain. Oh, okay. So Tristian, really quick, because I think you and I are the only ones in our 30s, right? I have a friend who.
No, I'm 32.
Okay.
I keep trying to tell
so-
you, Trevon, no one knows how old you are. There's a mystery going on.
'Cause he also looks super young. But I have a friend who's a year older than me, and she's like, as soon as you turn 30, everything starts going. I'm like, and when I was 29, I'm like, I feel fine. As soon as I turned 30, I was walking downstairs, my knees started clicking. I was like, the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? So enjoy your 20s, guys.
Yeah,
Enjoy
luckily,
them.
AJ, you got 15 years before you have to worry about that. But yeah, it's not good. It's why I invite you guys to do cocaine with me. But anyway, let's get into our last topic here before we get off for the night. I want to talk only because I haven't heard from Tia about this at all throughout the entire season. But AJ is my fellow brethren that I know. We both freaked out when we saw it. And that was the latest episode of Book of Boba, right? Trevon texts me early as hell in the morning. Is just like, I know you were freaking out. And I'm like, freaking out. I lost my voice. I screamed 3:00 in the morning every step of that episode to where my voice was just like, dog, it's the end credits. Like, it's credits now. You don't have to keep screaming. Relax so we can heal. But AJ, we've felt like this has been on its way since Book of Boba's been announced. We've been speculating. You finally got, I know you're about to cry. Calm down. It's okay. What were your feelings seeing Cad Bane come to life? I told y'all he was going to cry. I told you, he's a crier, man.
Look, that moment when that wide angle shot was happening and you just see him walking down, I was like, okay, I can't deal with this show anymore. I might have to quit, or I might just die of a heart attack.
Oh, Tia. Well, it's got spoiled.
Oh my God, Tia. Okay, so then Tia, do you not want to be part of the spoiler talk?
Yeah, because I was waiting for it to all come out and then watch it and everything. So
why are we talking about this anyway?
But wait, no. Because I already spoke to Tristian. He said he likes spoilers, so he wants to be a part of it. I just thought Tia kept up with it. But okay, so go ahead. Go ahead before we spoil.
I've barely been able to keep up with Peacemaker, which I have to watch actually the latest episode either tonight or tomorrow. Anyway, it's been amazing being here with you guys and everything. Go enjoy your talk of the Book of Boba Fett, and I can't wait for the Marvel shows to kick back up so we can get back into the MCR.
Moon Knight.
So
Moon Knight in March, baby. Moon Knight in March. We're almost
close, so close.
And then as soon as Peacemaker's done, we gotta do a review on that. So love you all. Have a fantastic night. Bye.
You too.
Absolutely.
Bye,
Take care,
Tia.
Tia.
Take care.
All right.
That was close. Come on now.
Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead.
Anyway, that wide shot of Cad Bane was just perfect. And then you get that tension when he gets closer and closer and closer. And you just see Cobb Vance's face throughout the whole thing. I'm like, this is actually probably the most tense scene. I don't even know when. I held my breath throughout this whole scene, basically. It was very, very tense.
Wait a minute. You don't know since when? When you saw Luke, what are you talking about?
No,
Mandalorian
This beats that. Okay.
You are high as hell. What?
Seeing Cad Bane live action, that beats everything. Everything that happened in Star Wars. Everything.
You are high as hell. I don't know what the hell you talking about, but go ahead.
Everything. Like I said, it's greatness, perfection. And we're this much closer of getting Cad Bane versus Boba. We're this much closer. And it's I love it.
Look at that.
Look
at that. I wish I said before, AJ, I thought the face was a little too thick. The skin a little too pale.
You look like Joe Kidd.
Yes. They could have cleaned them up a little bit more, but you know what's funny, AJ? We always speculated this, but it wasn't until I found out what episode Dave Filoni was directing that I knew exactly when we'd see Cad Bane. Like, as soon as everyone was like, oh, no, he's directing episode 6. I said, episode 6? we're gonna either get Ahsoka or Cad Bane easily.
Yeah,
Those are his
both.
babies. Those are
We
his
got 'em
babies.
all.
We got both.
We
We're
got
looking
'em
at
all.
both, just like, jeez.
Dave,
But
we're going all in on this one.
oh, for sure. He said, look, y'all about to get everything. Y'all about to get everything. But no, what stood out to me the most, AJ, had to have been what I hope comes true, which is this look right here. I want to show you guys. I hope we get a mix of this. I want that.
Oh.
Where he is part Mandalorian, part Jedi.
That chainmail looks so good. I can't wait until he puts that on.
Man, that chainmail looks like Grogu's about to hand me my food at what's that place called? Medieval Times. It look like it works at Medieval Times. You don't give that fool some Mandalorian actual armor. But no, I mean, look, AJ, so I want to ask you then, because I wanted you to get all the Cad Bane excitement out, because I wanted you to enjoy that with me. But what decision do you really think Grogu will make?
That's tough. On one part, I do believe that he wants to go back to his quote unquote father, then go back to Din. But another, I think he feels that he has this responsibility to the Jedi, to the younglings and all that, especially since he experienced Order 66.
Right.
So I feel like that overwhelming sense of duty will trump his wanting of being with them. Now, in the future, you can say he might go back to Din because he still has a choice even without all of this right now. But ultimately, I do believe that he's going to choose the lightsaber over the chainmail.
Look, I think we could possibly get him going back to Mando and Mando getting wrecked and Grogu not being strong enough to stop him. Obviously, Luke swoops in and saves the day. But then Grogu realizing in order to actually protect the ones he loves, he has to be stronger. He has to get stronger. And
that's another good point, because I feel like, and this is another thing, I feel like he might most likely will choose the chainmail because it's just going to go back to when Luke decided to leave Yoda.
Thank you. Okay, so they brought this up against me. This is why I tell you, you have to be with me, AJ, when we do these galactic reviews. They use that against me. They're like, well, Luke went off and then came back and was still able to be a Jedi. And I'm like, well, that was the wrong decision to make, as he learned. It's why when he fought Vader and Palpatine, he reacted with so much emotion that he had to hold himself back. He almost couldn't control it. So clearly it was the wrong decision to make, to lead by love in every decision he was making. So that's why I'm saying I don't think Grogu can just go hang out with Mando and then say, nah, I want to go back with Luke. Like, no. You have to detach now if you want to become a Jedi. But I'm not saying that means you can never see Mando again. I think what Luke was trying to explain to Grogu is, look, your training isn't going to be a month, a year, 2 years, 6 years. We don't know. It's going to take a while for you to master all of your abilities. By that time, Din could die tomorrow. So that's what he means by you may never see him again. He could die tomorrow. He could forget about you, whatever the case may be. So I appreciated that Luke was very honest and look, anything could happen. You know, I'm giving you the choice, but I'm laying out everything. So you can never say, well, damn, Luke, you ain't never tell me that. Told you everything. The decision is yours. But I want to go to a few comments before I pass this on here. Book of Boba, don't y'all mean Mando season 3? Finnick literally had more lines than him in this episode. I will never understand why you guys complain about this so much. Why does it matter?
Let's not a complaint. It's not a complaint.
Why does it matter?
It's a joke that's so overplayed at this point. Look at Mandalorian season 2. What do we talk about in Mandalorian season 2? Only Boba, only Ahsoka, only Luke.
No.
Yeah. Trevon, when they showed up, the conversation was not Mando.
That was only the conversation.
Now, look, I get it. People's point is, but we're seeing no Boba. We're seeing 2 seconds of Boba. I get it. My only issue.
2 episodes.
That's what I said, AJ.
Of seven.
There's
Of seven.
episodes, and
Of
only
seven.
2 you haven't
No,
seen.
no. What gets me is they don't like the episodes that's all Boba. But when we get 2 episodes that have like barely anything Boba, I want more Boba. What?
No, it's just shit we call Book of Boba Fett.
Hey, Trevon, I got a question.
All I'm saying is this.
Did
All
you
I'm
know
saying
that
is this.
novels, books,
I don't read that stuff.
They go to different, but
that stuff is not relevant to me.
Storytelling. They go to different people's perspectives, and in that one book, it might be Boba is the main character, but that doesn't mean they can switch to different perspectives.
All I'm saying is this. What you guys are saying, yes, have in the last 2 episodes, 2, have we gotten more other characters than Boba? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. My only issue with you guys that keep complaining about that is, who gives a fuck? We're getting Luke, we're getting Ahsoka, we're getting Cad Bane. Who cares? If there was a Luke series that was 10 episodes and 8 of the motherfuckers were Darth Vader, I don't give a fuck. It's Darth Vader. I don't care. I don't care. That's all I'm saying. So all I'm saying is because most of you guys were complaining you didn't like the Boba you were getting. Now you're complaining you're not getting enough of the Boba you didn't like to begin with.
I didn't say. I just thought it was funny what the show was called.
I didn't say you. I said most of y'all. Most of the people that are complaining about it didn't like the Boba they were getting. Then they complained that they weren't getting enough of the Boba they didn't like. And now it's like, I don't understand what you want. They're not going to change his mentality in the course of an episode. How he feels and how he acts is how he feels and how he acts.
Then in Mandalorian season 2, wasn't one episode all about Ahsoka?
No, it had the Mandalorian in a lot of it, especially speaking in a lot.
Yeah, but
again, it was from Ahsoka's perspective. I get it. Again, I'm not saying what you guys are saying is wrong. I'm just saying, who cares? You're getting so many good things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd understand if they took Boba out of his own show and we had a full episode about the fucking Jawas. Then I'd be like, yeah, I agree. Or about the Stormtroopers' perspective. We're getting fucking Luke, the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, R2, Cad Bane. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Let's also keep in mind the Book of Boba Fett is basically a placeholder for Mandalorian season 3. It's to give people hype for Mandalorian season 3.
It's 100% just a bridge.
And it's to let people know what happened, because people were asking for Boba and how he survived the Sarlacc pit.
Right, and they answered that. Right,
we got both.
Right, so they gave you Boba's story, and now in the last 3 episodes, it's more so about progressing Star Wars overall.
Yeah.
What's to come overall. And albeit you guys might not like it, no problem. Not here to convince you to like it.
To be fair,
I'm just saying, to complain about getting good shit, I will never understand. I'll never. It's like watching a Nightwing show, right? And going, all right, Nightwing is cool. Then you get 4 episodes of Batman, and then you say, damn, I love these episodes of Batman, but I really hate that we didn't get Nightwing. Why can't you just enjoy that you got so much goodness of Batman? Why does it matter that you didn't get too much of him? You had 4 full episodes out of 7. You're about to get 5 full episodes out of 7 that are all Boba. All Boba. You just got 2. And they were possibly, as most people say, their favorite episodes of the whole season. So what are we complaining about? What are we complaining about? You wanted Boba to go with Mando? Is that what you guys wanted? Sorry, it didn't happen. But you got Luke. You got Luke training Grogu. You got Ahsoka talking to Luke about Anakin.
Yeah, Ahsoka talking to Mando.
Right. Then you got Cad Bane. So I'm just saying, yes, is everything you guys saying correct? That the last 2 episodes make it seem like it's more Mando's show than Boba's. Yes, I will not argue that. I'm just saying they were so good. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who cares? That's all I'm saying. That's all. If Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you guys telling me that if 3 episodes out of that series was Chris Evans coming back as Cap, you'd be complaining this hard? If Falcon didn't show up in not one of those 3 episodes and it was just about Captain Rogers, we'd be complaining? No, we'd accept it and go, shit, I'm just really fucking glad to see Cap back, right? Why can't we do that for Ahsoka, Luke, and Cad Bane? Why can't we just be excited that they're back? Mando. Most of you people are complaining you got to wait till December or January to see Mando back again.
Nope.
They give it to you now and you complain. What do y'all want Dave Filoni to do? Like, he's giving you all this beautifulness of Star Wars lore, and our first reaction is, but I want more Boba. Come on, guys. Come on. Picture how bored we'd be if you already don't like Boba. If you had full 7 episodes of this Boba you didn't like. Let's sprinkle in some good shit in there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Also, these two episodes helped. These two episodes helped help get everything organized for Boba to complete his task, to help him out. That's the whole point of the show too. It's
right. It's returning the favor.
Look, if these two shows wasn't going to happen, people would have complained like, how did Din get here? What was he doing at this point? But we did get all that. And right. Then it's a lose-lose situation at this point. So
I agree. And like I said, I'm not here to argue with anybody. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. No problem. I'm just saying, I don't understand why it's a big deal if what you're getting is some of the best Star Wars content we've ever had. We should just be enjoying it, is all I'm saying. That's it. That's
Star
all.
Wars fans can't win.
That's all I'm saying. Like, goodness gracious, why isn't that something we enjoy? That's all I'm saying. Now I know as soon as I click in this comment section, it's just gonna be virtual yelling. But look, it had to be said. It had to be said. Sorry. All right. So let's see. I knew it was gonna be heating here. Season 2 of a series for a character that's been well established and actually had good episodes with him in it. Only argument is in 2 chapters we all love in the Book of Boba don't include him. I don't understand. Who cares? I don't care about Boba. Just making an objective observation. Just funny to see the guy getting cucked in his own. It's 2 episodes. I'm having a great time with Mando and the other characters, but that was because that Falcon series wasn't that good and he couldn't carry a series just like Boba can't carry his own. Boba's been in 4 of the 6 episodes you've watched. Agree there. 4 of the 6.
So technically, he's been in 5 of the 6. He was in episode 5.
Wait, say it. Oh yes, he was in it. But if we're talking actually in it, 4 out of the current 6, and we all know Boba's going to be a huge part in the season finale. So I'm like, 2 episodes.
He's in 85% of the show. Basically.
Like, people are acting like Mando was in every episode, and Boba was just there, like, hey.
It's just because these episodes were so much better that it just
like that is just
think about
the first 4.
Execution-wise, the parts with Boba and it weren't as good. But when you go back to Mandalorian, execution-wise, they were all good episodes.
Yes.
But the reason why people are complaining
again, and like Trevon, like I keep saying, I have no argument for what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
I'm not gonna say
I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying why
I get attacked every time, so I ain't saying no more.
I
got yelled at by Joel. Now y'all attack me. No, I'm not doing it.
To be fair, me and Joel, it only comes off as jealous because we're so passionate about, like, you're getting good content. Why does it matter that Boba's show was hijacked for 2 episodes? It was good 2 episodes. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Someone buys you a brand new Ferrari. You can only drive it Monday through Friday, and then you complain, well, what about Saturday and Sunday? You're driving a fucking Ferrari any day of the week. Why does it matter that you can't get it 2 out of the 7? Enjoy it. You got Luke, Ahsoka, Cad Bane. There should be no complaints here. We should only be celebrating the fact that we're getting some of the best Star Wars content you could make a case we've had in the last 10 years that wasn't animated. Think about that for a second. We are getting some of the best Star Wars content we have had in almost 10 years that is not animated. And we're finding reasons to complain. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. Ryan, welcome in, Ryan. This was we only had this topic and then the Madam Web before we got out of here.
Okay. I can complain real quick if you'd like, because those mod kids, man, get the fuck out of here.
They were the worst part of those.
That's fair.
I can deal with any of this stuff, but that was just like someone took Battle Angel Alita and just like threw in the leftovers or something. It was horrible. I hate those.
It was
kids.
bad. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Sorry. I can deal with so much in Star Wars. Leia flying through the middle of space like a witch on a broom.
I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all. Yeah,
I can put up with all that, but those kids were just like cringe on cringe.
Cringe on cringe.
No argument here. And look, I know that the joke is, do we know that Boba will be in the finale? I think if you're thinking that, whatever, you're allowed to think that. But I mean, come on now. 2 episodes.
You're allowed to think it, just don't say it out loud.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't in 2 episodes. You guys keep acting like episode 1 through 7, there was no Boba. Then I would understand you. But again, the whole purpose of seeing Boba back, people only wanted to see Boba back just to see what happened. That was it. How did you escape?
That was literally the only thing people were saying.
The only thing. That was it. How does he escape it? No one was ever saying like, all right, now I need some of the best 7 episodes of Boba that I've ever seen in my life.
I do think that there are some people out there. I do think there are some people out there who had like this, at least nostalgia or what they'd read in the books, like mythical version of like who he was and how badass he could be. And they wanted to see some of that. So like when Kevin Smith was talking about in this last week, like, why didn't he just keep the mask or the helmet on the whole time? I can kind of sympathize with that, but at the same time, you're also having actors do what they do, and you can only get so much out of a performance when you got a helmet on. So I understand why they did it.
That's not true, because look at Mandalorian.
They even took his mask off, and then I mean, it was a plot.
It was only for 1 episode in this.
But honestly, Ryan, what kind of defeats what Kevin is saying is Dave Filoni had already established lore of young Boba. So you'd seen so much of Boba's life with no suit at all.
Right.
So you're like, man, you developed so much of this character with that. And remember, when George used them, it was such a, and then he's gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why would I hold my standards to what George did with a character that lasted like this?
Yeah, he didn't do shit with the character.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I'm like, to take off the helmet adds more to a character I felt as though only looked cool. But I knew nothing about him when I first saw him watching it on VHS.
I think there should be
some progression is awesome.
I think there should be some sort of evenness with him and Mando. I mean, they can both have their things that make them who they are, but they've got to have like the big action set pieces to make you go, oh, that's why everyone loved Boba Fett. He was that guy. Like, especially for the kids who come up and they're like, who is this old man when I got Mandalorian and Grogu? You know, like
that is true. But we did get a scene where Boba basically took out a whole battalion of troopers to help out Den at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we got in Book of Boba when he was in the Slave One mauling down those I call it the biker gang. So I'm like, we've seen the aggressiveness out of Boba. I get it. You guys think he was such a badass in the original trilogy. I get it. Albeit, I personally think he just looked cool. I didn't think he did that much of anything to make me go, yo, this is such a... He just looked cool as shit.
Well, the only thing he did in the original trilogy was bring back Han. That was off screen, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he did bring back Han off screen.
So technically, we didn't really see anything.
Look, if you thought Boba was the hottest thing since sliced bread back then, again, I'm not here to argue that. How you feel about Boba, I'm not here to argue that. No problem. I'm just saying the point of this show was to be a bridge. It was just to bridge you to The Mandalorian, to Ahsoka, to all the other shows that's still in this same universe and timeline.
Yeah.
So that's why they used 2 episodes to progress it, but they gave you 4 where they progressed the story of Boba. If you didn't like it, that's a personal thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's only a personal thing. If you didn't like those 4 episodes.
I do think it's weird that they decided to make the title of the Book of Boba Fett. Like, it doesn't feel like, what is this book that they're referring to? Because I mean, is it the 1 or 2 chapters out of the book? Because like, it's deviated to other characters at this point. It should have just been like untitled Star Wars show at this point.
Well, that's not true because the whole series is about Boba's story. Look, in other novels, you get other characters' point of view, right?
Yeah.
It's not just that one main character. It's other characters getting context to help the main character. This is what basically was what Book of Boba Fett. We got Din's point of view to help Boba with his with the war, basically, that he's about to happen. So everything is leading up to that war. Present day. We got everything past day with the Starlight Pit and all that's done. Now everything is just present day at this point. So
yeah. And for what it's worth, I'm actually on the side that likes what's going on. I'm just giving you kind of like the counter argument I've been hearing all this like last 2 weeks. So
trust me, I've heard from the other side of the table. I just strongly believe that, albeit they're right. Mm-hmm. I've said this numerous times. They are right. It has been like now it's Mando taking over the second half or the last half of these episodes, right?
Yep.
You're
Mando
not
2.5.
wrong. I'm just saying again, we are acting as if Dave
Filoni is like a quarter, but yeah.
Yes. But we're acting as if Dave Filoni replaced Boba with some Jawas, some stormtroopers, that broom kid. Like he's giving you Luke fucking Skywalker, Ahsoka, and Cad Bane. Why are we
all in one episode?
Why are we finding any reason to say anything negative but thank you? The only thing we should be saying is thank you. Because most of these people didn't like the 4 episodes anyway.
Yeah.
But the reason for me, the reason why they aren't saying thank you is because the execution of those past 4 episodes wasn't as great. Like everybody doesn't complain, like I just said before. No one complains that Ahsoka took over an episode, Luke took over an episode, Boba took over an episode, hype-wise, basically. Because everything past that, before that, was great execution-wise. So no one's complaining. No one's complaining about Mandalorian season 1, season 2. Because everything was executed great. But with Boba,
I just personally had no problems with the 4 episodes. I
think
gave
you everything that the fans wanted, but it's just
they gave me everything I wanted. Yeah. I wanted to know how the hell he got out of there and what has he been doing, and they answered that.
Boba I didn't really need aggressive, and I think that's one thing that threw people off. Boba wasn't aggressive. I feel like that's a few things that threw people off with the character. I think if he was a little bit more ruthless, a little bit more, who you talking to? Type of like attitude. I think people would liked it more, and maybe we'll complain about it as much.
I get you, but like I always said, he said it from the beginning. It's not.
I know. I get it. It just don't mean I have to
like it. Yeah.
And maybe like
the timeout. But what you just said, that's all I've been saying, and that's the only argument I made. That's personal. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means you don't like it, right? I tell you all the time, I did not like First Avenger. That doesn't mean the First Avenger was a bad movie. It just means I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? It just means I didn't like it. So that's what I mean by like that's personal. But that doesn't mean they did a bad job. I don't like the
first 2 Avenger movies. But...
Oh no, he said the first Avenger. He was talking about Captain America.
Oh, well, I'm talking about Avengers movies.
That dude right there.
Yikes! Yeah, I can't say that. Oh no, I didn't like Age of Ultron. I'll agree with you on that. Okay. First Avengers.
I don't go back.
Anyway, like I'm saying, I'm just saying there's a difference between it. And again, just because multiple people didn't like it doesn't mean they're all right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we just went through a whole world where a group of people were the loudest, and everyone was just, well, they're right. No, they're just louder than you. That doesn't mean they're right. They could all be wrong as hell. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm saying what a lot of you people are feeling is personal.
You people. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you mean? You
right? In this month of all months, right? No, but that's what I mean by, again, that's not factual that these episodes are bad. That's a personal opinion. And you can have that opinion. I won't argue that. But that's what I'm saying. I enjoyed the 4 episodes. It answered again, Boba Fett is a character that if I never saw again, I wouldn't have fucking thought 2 seconds about. It's just like Darth Maul. When I saw him die, I'm like, God damn, this was really cool. Why did they have to take him? I never said find a way to bring him back immediately. But when they brought him back, it was a very good way to do it. And I loved every second of it. It's
I don't know. In some ways, it's kind of like if you think of like Sebulba, for example, you're like, oh my gosh, I remember how cool he was from those pod races and all that stuff. I played the games. It was great. I wish there was more of him. He comes back and he kind of does some stuff. He's not as badass as you thought he was. And it's kind of like, all right, well, that happened. Oh, but cool. I get like Yoda and a bunch of other random characters just showing up around this series that I got hyped up for because I thought it was this dude. I see both sides to the argument because they want to keep Mandalorian going strong. There's a lot of good story to tell there, especially because he bridges that gap between kind of the original trilogy and the sequels. But I don't know. I think that there is a better way you could have done this. You could have said, oh, the Book of Boba Fett is like its own little mini series, made like 4 big episodes, and then just said, oh yeah, we've got some specials just to whet your appetite before
you know
Mandalorian.
What, Ryan? I like where your head's at. Let me go a step further because I like where your head's at. You ready for this? Well, you know what they could have done better? And this is going to blow your mind. This is what they could have done better to everyone who's saying they don't really like what they've been doing with Boba. Here we go. You ready? They could have not fucking given you anything with Boba.
That's true. They could.
He could be in a Sarlacc shit fucking dissolving into a helmet. So all I'm saying is you wanted him back. You got him back. Now it's the journey. It's to see where the character goes. Now, I'll tell you this, Ryan. If Boba dies next week, then you know what? I agree 100% with everything everybody's ever said. That was the worst decision ever.
Yeah.
But if he lives at the end of next week, it's a journey. He could turn into the badass you guys want him to be again. It's about the journey, but right now, this is where he's at spiritually.
Yeah.
Let's see if something changes. If Fennec Shand dies this week and he becomes ruthless again, here we go.
If he's in an episode that doesn't have him in a back to tank, I'm thumbs up over here, man. That's all I ask.
Episode 4 didn't have him in it, but just the first 10 minutes. That was
you know what I mean. It just kind of got repetitive. I'm like, how long does it take to heal? I get it, but like
my man was dissolved by acid. What do you mean?
Yeah, I know, but like, isn't there a better way to construct that narratively than just like, oh, he's got to keep popping in and out like he's.
You know what, Ryan? I say no. I watched Goku floating in that fucking thing when they were fighting Frieza for like 13 episodes.
That was the thing too. Yeah.
I was waiting. I kept waiting every week. Like Goku will come out now. Goku will come out now. Goku will come out now. Yeah. Goku never fucking came out.
I think us anime fans have more patience than
yes. All the stupid stuff you guys are seeing now, anime fans have experienced tenfolds.
Yeah,
we've just waited tenfolds for these things. So yeah, him being
10
in that
episodes of nothing but screams.
I'm okay. I've seen worse.
Your show, but what's next? Let's talk about that Madam Web.
Let's see. Our expectations were raised though on the premise of the show. That's all I'm saying. Shot Bib Fortuna when he was eating like a badass in 4 episodes of being passive besides a scene or 2. Hey, the Boba I knew was dead anyways. I never asked for this. Well, there was plenty of people who asked for Boba to be back, and Boba came back, and there you go. There you go. You know what, Star Wars fans? Just be careful what you ask for from now on. There you go. But all right, last thing we got here. We got some Madam Web news that it was something. It exists. And that news was, hold on, let me pull it up here because I deleted every existence on my phone. All right. So Deadline reports the Madam Web project. Wait, sorry, I'm skipping something. Dakota Johnson has been cast in Sony's Marvel film Madam Web. Then a report came out that the Madam Web project could turn into something else due to the fact that the character never fought any villains in her age and medical condition. Could Dakota Johnson really be playing Spider-Woman? Now, the reason why I don't think she's playing Spider-Woman is supposed to be a Marvel project that Kevin Feige is working So that's not a Sony exclusive project. Madam Web is going to be Sony exclusive. Trust me, Feige has no interest in Madam Web. No one should.
I mean, yes, I agree. I also feel like they made some kind of mega deal when they brought Spider-Man back for the second time. Whatever one where he begged for them to do it again. I feel like
that was just to extend. That was to extend Spider-Man, and I think it was to help him get Spider-Woman. But I don't think he has any interest. He just showed us he had no interest in that Venom. So him using Madam Web is pretty unlikely.
Just the fact that him showing up though was
just to close off the loop of people thinking we could see Tom Holland in a Tom Hardy movie. Kevin Feige was like, "No, you won't. Not while I'm breathing. Yeah, no, you'll get a different Venom for my world." So honestly, I don't think
I'd rather see him go off against Andrews anyways. So I mean, I don't think Tom and him would have interacted well together. I mean, it would have been all right, but I think he makes more sense for the Sony Spider-Verse.
See, what always confused me about Venom was you made him a good guy. So I'm like, you made him a good guy. So then what need do I have to see him fight Spider-Man if he's a good guy?
Yeah.
So that's what was always a little confusing for me. Even him fighting Andrew's Spider-Man. I'm just curious, and do you take a darker turn to Venom?
I'm like, that eats people.
I think you have them side by side more than anything, honestly.
I personally don't ever want to see that. Like I don't ever need to see Spider-Man and Venom fighting side by side, especially if that means I don't ever get to see them fight against each other.
Yeah.
That's weird for me.
I mean, it could be a BVS kind of thing where like they come to blows at first. Like obviously the symbiote has an issue when he sees Spider-Man on the screen. So maybe there's some sort of, I don't know, like built-in conflict that will be revealed or whatever. But then once they, meet each other again, like BVS, someone says something and they're like, oh, now we're friends. We got to take on a bigger enemy. Could happen. I don't know what you do with that. To me, the most interesting thing in that universe is Andrew and that Spider-Man. Everything else is kind of extra. So
I think I would be on board with you had we not already seen Venom versus Carnage. And it was Andrew, Spider-Man, and Venom taking on Carnage. I could accept that more.
I think the only really cool thing would be is like if he got back to back with Andrew and they were fighting, and then his suit finally turned into the spider on the chest, for Venom. Because I'm tired of seeing that like black lightning bolt bullshit.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I don't know. It got tiresome after. Yeah.
I mean, look, it's also frustrating because I'm like, you bringing Venom in a movie with Spider-Man, but I can't see Spider-Man become the Venom suit is also upsetting. It's like, well, then like that kind of takes a lot of the fun out of it. So, but Tristian, I'm going to go to you. What are your thoughts on this news? And do you think that maybe this is a swerve and Dakota's actually playing Spider-Woman?
I'm hoping that's the case because all I know about Madam Web is that old lady from the I only ever saw her on the cartoon. I think that's where a lot of people were first introduced to her, like the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. So I'm just really wondering, like, again, what are they? And obviously, since she's younger, this could be like a prequel to show how she got to that point. But I don't know that I necessarily want to watch that. Like, I don't care about how Madam Web became Madam Web. So I'm hoping it's really a Spider-Woman project because I'm not interested in a Madam Web movie.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I watched Spider-Man, the animated series from the 90s. I wasn't interested in Madam Web then. I'm not interested in Madam Web now. At this point, if you're doing a Madam Web movie, it's just like Sony, just sell it to Marvel.
Yeah.
Like you're grasping at straws here. You know what I'm saying? You're just grasping. You're grasping, Produce more Spider-Man movies if you're so desperate to use that. Were you gonna say, Ryan?
I was just gonna say, like, the best part of that 90s series and seeing her was how she put everything together. Like, she could be in one of these movies, but a movie about her seems just way too extra.
Yeah, she fits more better as a side character than anything else.
Absolutely.
1,000%. And how can we make that side smaller?
If it was the older version, and then, like, she helped facilitate some sort of Spider-Verse moment or whatever, like, I'm cool with that because like that and her telepathic abilities are what she's whatever it is is what she's known for. But like how do you create a heroic storyline, let alone some movie that comes after that? If hypothetically it was a success, what do you do for a sequel with that character? It's like,
yeah.
I
mean, to be honest with you, I tell you what, Sony, because you've been doing the way you've been approaching these Spider-Man led, or not Spider-Man, but Spider-Man universe led movies, is that you've been nailing the castings, right? So I tell you what, this will get me interested in Madam Web's movie. Go out and get Meryl Streep. There you go.
Okay,
then I'll watch. Go get Meryl Streep. Then I'll sit there because I could at least say, you know what? I'm not here for Madam Web. I'm here because I love Meryl Streep. I could sit through that, right? Because I know a lot of people that were like, I don't really know Venom, but I love me some Tom Hardy. I don't really know Morbius, but I do like Jared Leto. So I'm like, that's where Sony's been succeeding in some of these movies. Aaron Taylor Johnson being Craven. Does it make that much sense? No, but do a lot of people like him? Yeah. No problem. Dakota sounds like someone I want to see in a role that's better suited for her. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to see Meryl Streep hopping around using superpowers. Her sitting in a chair all movie, perfect. I could accept that, right?
See, my biggest problem with the whole thing is, my biggest problem is that it is Dakota Johnson. Outside of Bad Times at the El Royale, I can't think of a movie she's done anything noteworthy in. And I know you'll say like 50 Shades of Grey, but like,
I won't.
well, it's someone out there who's like a diehard.
Those movies
like
are fun. Okay, I will stand on that.
Those movies are
they're fine.
Trayvon.
I won't watch them. I just won't.
Those movies are a
I laugh at those movies. I laugh at them. They're funny. They're funny.
Okay, is it like Gigli kind of bad? Like you just like sit back and watch it, the cringe?
I mean, yeah, they're not like cinema. It ain't that, but they're fun. They're fun.
That's for sure.
And funny. Like, I don't know.
But yeah, like why her? Like, why was she like, you know, we're trying to build this Spider-Verse and we've got some unknown characters. We really need to make something pop. Dakota Johnson. Like, what was that casting process like to pick her to be like the big female character that people see?
Don't sell these people short now.
What?
I don't think it's going to be like a Spider-Woman character per se, but I feel like she's going to have more action. Like, I think she'll be able to walk, but she'll still have the same power set as Madam Web.
Well, there's that younger version too. I think it's Julia Carpenter who goes and wears the Spider-Woman with the black and white suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if if they're trying to make her that, because I guess she does look more like that version of Madam Web, but like that's such a it's trying to tell like young kids today like who Silver Sable is. They don't really know. So you're really digging deep to try and pull these characters into relevance. And I think that's what Marvel as a studio has been doing so much better than like Sony or all the other studios, is they're taking them and they plant them in. Like, yeah, you saw Hawkeye and you're like, who the hell was that dude with the bow and arrow that did nothing in Thor? But at least you cared enough to go like, what was his purpose? And you plant the seed and you build on him so that he's interesting.
But to your point, they also didn't give Hawkeye his own project.
Right, exactly.
Fully established
who
the hell the guy with the bow and arrow is.
Right.
And you're right. They are going to go for that younger version. I 100% understand that.
Yeah.
The point still remains, I have no interest in anything Madam Web.
Sony's like, what characters do we have?
Yeah.
What movies we making? Yes. that's what I feel like they're at. They have the Spider-Man characters. They're going to use every single one of them if they can.
But that's why I said they should have made the decision of, look, Marvel, you do everything you want to do with Peter Parker. We're going to use Miles. And then we could, at any point, if we want to bring Spider-Man or Peter Parker rather to this universe, do what the animated movie did for to bridge together the multiverse of Spider-Man. I'm like, there's just better ways to do it. Madam Web does
you already mentioned Miles though, so I don't think they could do that. Like, you can't.
No. I'm talking about beforehand. Because again, I do believe Miles right now is more popular than Peter Parker. I know a lot of people don't want to accept that, but he is. He's just more popular. I don't mean over the history. I just mean right now. More people know Miles than they know Peter. So to me, you could have done
that hot new thing. I think if you looked around the globe, people would recognize Peter Parker Spider-Man more than they would Miles still.
The suit, yes. But I think Miles, the actual person, a lot of people, like Miles isn't someone that you're just like the suit. You actually know Miles. but because Peter Parker has had so many different faces throughout time.
Yeah.
I think the suit is more recognizable.
Well,
With
yeah.
Miles, his suit has had so many different looks. The person, I think, is what's most recognizable between the two. But
Yeah.
again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what they're doing. And Mr. E says, Sony better hope their stupid bleeping universe doesn't fail like Universal's Dark Universe. They screwed up the Amazing Spider-Man 2 because of it. I will say the one advantage Sony has is that Dark Universe was going to fail from the jump. When you told me that the movie was The Mummy, but Tom Cruise was the main character, it's just like,
Yeah.
whoa.
They could have scrapped
Did he
that when it
become
kept
the Mummy?
getting-
Dracula Untold was part of it, right?
No,
It wasn't, but that was the original attempt
I
for a dark
love
universe.
that.
I agree.
Yes,
I
so
agree.
good.
Love that.
I completely agree. I still to this day believe that if you had taken parts, if you had taken Benicio del Toro's Wolfman, if you had taken Dracula Untold, put those in the same universe and then built off of those two, you would have been fine. They would have been deep cuts. I don't think it would have been a massive global success, but you would have had a lot
You gotta
of
have confidence
diehard
in it.
fans. Right. You would have had a lot of diehard fans that would have kind of come clamoring to see those characters interact. But I think now where you're at, where Invisible Man is a suit, not a person, is like, well, now it seems weird where you're going. We obviously know Ryan Gosling will be the new Wolfman.
We'll see.
I don't remember. What do you mean?
Oh, I just like the way that this universe is. I could easily see some big name like him dropping out for a Gray Man sequel or something like that.
Oh, I mean, possibly. I think work's already begun on the script and everything. I don't think it drops, because I tell you that unless you replace it with someone better or like a recognizable name, that's a way to kill a project.
Oh yeah.
Having him just drop out. But yeah, I don't think Sony could ever make that mistake, mainly because Sony actually did it ass backwards. They started their universe with characters you don't care about, rather than starting it with characters you do care about and then just messing them up. Because if you mess up a Venom movie, we're like, well, you already don't have Spider-Man, so you already lost me there. You can't get any worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get any worse than the fact that you shouldn't even exist outside of first interacting with Spider-Man.
Honestly, if you're trying to build like a Spider-Man universe on the Sony side of things, and you only had that, sandbox to play with, why wouldn't you just do like one Spider-Man film, maybe pepper in a villain movie or two to really build up to a Sinister Six, and by the time you get to the end, it's like, oh, okay, we're on the third Spider-Man movie, and the sixth villain has already got their movie, and then boom, you've got a Sinister Six versus Spider-Man film.
But see, the problem is, go ahead, AJ.
The issue with that is Sony is trying to make these villains relatable and more empathetic, which is not the way to go with these type of characters like Venom or Green Goblin.
They're making them heroes.
Yeah, that's if they were supposed to do that, they were going to have to erase what they're doing with Venom.
Yeah,
change all that over again, or like reboot everything. Like I said, start with Spider-Man, because they can still use
Madam Web connects them.
Madam Web can connect it. You can get a Web Warriors. You can get a Spider-Verse storyline. You can do all those types of
Shattered dimensions.
There you go. Make it more crazy, right?
Go for it.
I'm wondering what happens with Morbius. Do we think it ends with him being good, or he ends up like really?
Morbius was never a villain.
Well, no, I know, but do you think he takes on more of a darker side, or does he kind of like just become a Venom style anti-hero?
I think yes. I think Craven will do the same thing.
Okay.
I think it's impossible to give a villain a movie. It's impossible, because the biggest thing to attract people is, how do I resonate with this character that is the main character? And as you see with Marvel, DC, all these movies that quote, even Joker, we left that movie going, well, that was sympathetic. He went through some shit, right?
Yeah.
He's crazy.
No,
we didn't leave that movie going, oh, no. I can't wait till a Batman takes his ass out. No, we were like, we feel sorry for the guy. It made him sympathetic.
He was nuts. That's what I came out of.
Yeah, I think it was crazy too, but I didn't think it was they didn't make him crazy like how we know Joker to be, to where he just wants chaos. He's just randomly killing people. There is nothing more kind of methodic to it. It's more so I just want to kill people. This guy was trying to take down the system that made him who he was.
I don't know. That movie ended with him with streets on fire and a whole crowd.
Yeah.
Excited.
Well, that was people siding. That was people siding with him. He didn't.
But he was basking in it. He was out there.
Oh, he
yes,
was
he finally found.
Oh, he was loving it.
At that point, he truly became Joker.
Right.
He embraced it. Yeah.
Right. But also remember the deeper connection to that. He had always wanted to be seen. He had tried stand-up. That didn't work. So it was finally a point where he was being seen. Because remember, he was excited to get on TV. He didn't plan on killing that guy. He was going to do the interview. He was just going to do the interview. And then when he started making fun of him and he started to feel the way everyone has always made him feel, that's when he killed them. And then he felt seen. That was all he ever wanted to be, was seen. And no one would ever see him. So again, it was making him sympathetic. Again, people left Black Panther going, yo, Killmonger was right. That is never the viewpoint you should have with the villain. To where I'm leaving and I'm just like, God damn, I might side with the villain on this one.
Got some points, yeah.
Like, can you picture leaving a James Bond movie where you're like, yo, James should have died, yo. Homeboy was right. Like, what? That's crazy. What did you say, Trevor?
I mean, they did that with Black Panther. We were like, yeah, I'm with.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That and you know what my bigger problem is, AJ? People left so enamored with Killmonger, they legit were willing to let Killmonger be the new Black Panther. That's how poorly of a villain he was, that people were just like, well, shit, can't he just be the new Black Panther? And I'm like, wait, the villain? you want the bad guy to be your new hero?
I think his performance was outshining Chadwick. I know we all love Chadwick and rest in peace to the man, but like,
I feel like they were equal. It didn't, for me, it didn't feel like Dark Knight where Heath Ledger was the standout over Christian Bale. I feel like they're equal in Black Panther. I feel like Michael B. Jordan.
I feel like they give him a more compelling story.
Yeah, I agree with Brian.
Killmonger a better.
Yeah, I left that movie going, damn, Michael B. Jordan is good. Chadwick was awesome too, but one performance was definitely better than the other. Like,
right, yeah.
That's no knock.
Like, I look at it kind of like Keaton and Nicholson doing the Batman Joker thing. Like, I really like Keaton's Batman, but Nicholson's Joker, like, I didn't know as a kid that they could make Joker that good in live action. And I was really impressed. And all of a sudden I became more of a Joker fan than Batman, at least for the time. But like, that goes to someone's powerful performance. And to your whole thing about the villains, though, I think the villain narrative is, oh, because he's a bad guy, you can't cheer him on or whatever. But we're seeing more and more examples as time goes on. Like, even though I know there's a lot of mixed reaction to it, the Suicide Squad came out, and maybe it wasn't, the one from 2016 or whatever, but people were loving and cheering on a bunch of villains going and doing their thing. As long as there's a bigger villain off in the distance for them to take on, people will find a way to cheer on the villain because they're better than the bad.
That cast was phenomenal. I stand on that.
It really
I 100% agree with you, but I've been saying this, AJ knows this, I've been saying this for years. I think you're getting further and further and further away from legit, this is what a bad guy is, this is what a good guy is, right? The simplicity of, I just wanted to wake up and rob a bank today. It wasn't because my mommy used to lock me in a closet. I just wanted to rob a bank. And now you're starting to get to a point where it blurs lines. Because even in Suicide Squad, the villain didn't really matter. Why? Because it was about the Suicide Squad. I want to see something where the villain matters and the hero matters, but I can definitively say, well, this is clearly a bad guy.
Wait, there was a villain in Suicide Squad?
Technically, yes.
To be fair, Starro was victimized, so technically,
he was, but the villain was Amanda Waller.
Well, yeah, actually, good point.
Yeah, because she lied, held things, whatever, and the villains were within the team. Peacemaker to a degree, obviously, until we see him now in this series, we view it differently. But he seemed like, well, you're a piece of shit. But yeah, I think we're getting further and further away from that. They even made Thanos sympathetic, so we're just like, damn, man, that's rough.
I like this character more than the comics. I have no issues with that.
But again, Trevon, no argument. You can make a case that he was right. That's my problem. Like, you left that movie going, damn, he made a good point. What? You know? So that's all I'm saying. Even The Harder They Fall, when you get to the big surprise at the end of that movie, you're kind of just like, oh, well, now I'm a little bit more sympathetic to this guy I thought was just a raging asshole, right? So that's what I'm saying. We're starting, but that's why I made sure I didn't reveal what the surprise was, so I didn't spoil it. But that's why I'm saying you're starting to muddy the waters a bit with a lot of these. What's a good guy? What's a bad guy? Right. So that's why I'm saying it's just muddy waters. But we're gonna read these comments and get out of here. All depends on how their Venom-less movies perform. What will happen if Craven, Morbius, Madam Web woefully underperform? I don't know, because I swear to God, Venom and Venom 2 should have underperformed, and they didn't. So I'm like,
there's a whole subculture for Venom. So yeah,
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. The likelihood of Morbius or Craven being worse than what many people think Venom and Venom 2 were, it seems very hard to do.
Like, Morbius would have been great to come out during the Twilight era when all that thing was popular. Like,
oh no.
Not that he should be that, but I'm saying when like vampires were in, you know, like now. Like the zombie thing is kind of passe. So if you did a zombie movie, I don't know if that would work. I saw there's one on Netflix right now. It's one of the Japanese ones or whatever.
All of Us Are Dead. Greatness.
Is it good?
It's so good.
Like so good or like
no, it's
zombie
good,
insanity.
It's good.
Well, I mean, I will say, and Trevon, don't get angry, but I will say, Ryan, when AJ says that, just take this into mind. AJ's favorite movie of last year was Clifford. He thought that was the movie of the year. So when he said something,
watch Clifford.
Why would I get offended?
Because you like Clifford, you said.
I didn't see the movie. I do like.
I thought you said you like Clifford. You were excited for part 2.
I do like the character. I didn't watch the movie.
Trevon, we legit had a conversation when part 2 got greenlit. You were like, I'm so happy. Who are you happy for?
I didn't know there was a part 2. What?
We had this whole conversation.
I don't remember this. Oh
my goodness. Okay. All right. Let's see what else.
That argument was so crazy my equipment fell over.
Spider-Man 2099 Noir, Superior Spider-Man. Just saying. Yeah. There's other things they could do, Mister.
Oh yeah.
Never happened.
Black Cat movie, you know? Are they saving that for Marvel or are they doing it?
They kept talking. Side? What they already talked about that.
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Black Cat.
Oh no, I think they got
them already.
Got pushed back. Yeah, Black Cat got pushed back.
Well, so yeah, Black kept going through the motions and all this stuff, and we got a director, and then we lost it, and yeah, I just want
the same thing.
Yeah, just give her a movie already, you know.
I guess why not? Would never happen, but MCU should try something new by giving a series to a villain. Would love that Doctor Doom Disney Plus series from Noah Hawley.
Yeah.
Technically, Moon Knight began as a villain type character, so
yeah, for sure. But no, we're not getting that. We're not getting.
Yeah, we're not getting that, but it's there.
I don't know. I really don't know. I'd rather Doctor Doom be utilized to where he's just straight up your villain first.
We got Loki.
Explore anything. Loki is my extreme example of what should not happen. That's what happens when someone exists too long.
I was just answering the question here, okay?
We've exhausted everything we can as a bad guy, so he's a good guy. What were you saying, Trevon?
I'm trying to know Hawley. That sounds familiar. What has he done?
Yeah, he did X-Men. Legion, yeah.
Oh God.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
Best Marvel show out there. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely not.
I still watch it sometimes and get a headache trying to figure out all the themes and concepts.
I didn't finish that show.
I wanna it's too trippy. Take your time. It's too trippy. Tristian, I want to ask you before we go. So how do you view this? How do you view villains being perceived as heroes? Do you want to kind of see more of a straight line between the two, or are you okay with the development of some of these villains?
I'm okay with the development of some of these heroes. I feel like even in real life, like rarely are people evil just for the sake of being evil. Like there's, whether you sympathize with them or not, there's something in their background where you can see where that change happened. So it's like, yeah, they're an asshole, but like you find out something happened to them and it's like, okay, they don't have the right to mistreat people, but I get why that changed them. So I'm okay with villains who are kind of in that gray area between like villain and anti-hero, because I feel like that's true to real life. And I feel like it's actually lazy writing for a villain just to be bad for the sake of being bad. Like I want something in their background that can, that helps me kind of, because I mean, I feel like well-written villains are heroes from their own point of view. And you get that by giving them, putting something in their background with the audience and kind of say, okay, I understand their point of view. So I'm okay with that, the blurred line.
To me, like I said, I always look at superhero projects to live in the same world as their comic counterparts, right? And what made stories to me, because stories to me are in my mind are simplistic. It's like Westerns. It's where you have the bad, the bad cowboy and the good cowboy, right?
And
but picture if we ever watched a Western to where we're like, well, damn, maybe he isn't a bad guy. Maybe this did. And it's kind of like, well, to me, it takes away from the fun of just knowing this is good, this is bad. Now it kind of muddies what I always thought bad was. And albeit, I agree with you. It does take more muscle power to do that than to just say he just likes to blow up buildings just cuz, So I will not disagree with that whatsoever. But sometimes I just like the simplicity of, bro, Batgirl has to stop homeboy who's just blowing up buildings. Why is he blowing up buildings? I don't know. He keeps saying because it's a Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. So when she takes him down, he gets arrested. End of the story. I don't have to go, well, damn, maybe if he could get a good lawyer and get the help that no, he's in prison until he gets out of prison again, like they always do. And she got to put him back in.
And
so to me, I get what you're saying from a more narrative standpoint of other movies. But to me, in my superhero world, I like the simplicity of this is good, this is bad. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But in other forms, I completely get it. It's lazy to just, well, he's just bad because it's a Monday. And it's like, well, that's it? Yeah, he just likes to shoot people in the face. That's all he keeps saying. I get it. But in superhero movies, because that's what Nolan did. He tried to take something that's superhero and ground it and make it so real. And it's like, well, no, nothing about Batman should feel like that. It should feel more not mystical, but mythical rather is what I meant. Where he is in the shadows, where he has this large pain threshold, and he's fighting a guy who shoots an ice gun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's just how I view superhero movies, but you're absolutely right. In a larger spectrum, it should be more brain power put into a project than the simplicity of he's just bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's when I look back at Red Skull. We appreciated Red Skull. There was no sympathy there. It was just he is bad. And we loved Hugo Weaving for it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Totally.
So
yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh no, I was just saying totally. I was agreeing with you. It was funny because you were saying Cold Gun, and I was actually thinking about how Flash was teetering the line with like Leonard Snart on the TV series. Mm-hmm. I know he's not exactly what you probably wanted him to be, but I'm saying like he could be with the Legends and be kind of a hero in his own right, but then he'd come over to Flash and showing like, dude, I fucking hate you still, and that's not going to change. And they just kept the thing moving forward that way. And they were able to bounce it well. Yeah.
Until he became a friend of the Flash. And then,
and then he died too. But, yeah.
Like, all Barry's villains that's not named Reverse Flash or a Speedster turned out to now be reformed and friends. And I think that is utterly disgusting. like, could you picture if Batman in The Dark Knight reformed him and then he was leaning on his help in The Dark Knight Rises? Like, what am I watching right now? Like, what is happening here?
I mean, everyone's different. Not everyone is the Joker either. But like, I don't know. Like, I think people who have troubles can be reformed, and there should be some delineation between like you're fucking out of your gourd Joker and like you said, dude who just had a bad Monday kind of guy. And as long as we can establish that, I think you can still have a Sinister Six or a Rogues Gallery, because those guys aren't like, well, maybe Trickster is a little out of his gourd, but even he, if you watch the animated series, or it was Justice League, I think when they had the Flash Day episode, he's just sitting with Trickster at the bar and he's talking to him like, oh yeah, I'm just having one of those days or whatever. And then he, like he waves and is like, I still hate you, Flash, or whatever. And then that's their relationship. Like they know who they are, and they're never going to be besties. But like the power of a hero is to help find a way to, as you put it, rehabilitate these characters in some way or another, to reintroduce them into society so that they all don't turn out to be the Joker.
No, look, I understand what you're saying. Like I said, because to me, I tell you guys all the time, Star Wars is my first love. As much as I love Batman, Luke Skywalker and Star Wars is my first love. And I look at people like Palpatine. I look at people like Cad Bane. I look at people like Moff Gideon. I look at numerous Star Wars villains that are just that. And you need them to be that because it's the moral compass of your heroes. Because Jedi aren't supposed to go to the dark side, right? And what keeps them from that is to not react with emotion. Yeah. But if you now start reforming everybody, it now then becomes moot, right? It now just becomes like, well, you just have emotionless, not non-angered individuals. I want it to be to where it's the extreme. It's the hero that struggles, and the villain is just there to continuously corrupt the good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the dance right there. So let me just ask you this, I think you're trying to wrap it up too, but like Firefly in Batgirl, what do you want to see? Do you want to see him kind of have a sad story, or do you want to just see him go full on arson?
Full on arson.
Yeah.
Completely full on arson, because I want to get back to a Batman lineage where the villains are just bad, right? It's like when you watch, like even we've pieced together that Riddler will have a sympathetic story in the Batman, right? And that to me kind of is just like, okay, depending on how they deliver that story, I have to wait and see. I can't judge something I haven't even seen yet. Yeah. But it seems as though, and I won't get into it because it might feel spoiled.
Something to do with the Waynes. Yeah. It's always,
Right. So I'm like, if they go sympathetic, I'm like, well, how do you utilize that? But with Firefly, I'm like, he's one of Batman's like D-level villains. So I'm like, I don't need to feel sorry for him. I just need him to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a personal feeling for me. Mm-hmm. But I get you guys if you're like, make it more multi-dimensional to where it is something he has to overcome. It's demons that are trapped in his head. I get it. I'm big on mental health, so I get it. Excuse me, I get it. I completely do. That's not how I feel about the real world. I do think people should be reformed.
What do you think sells more toys?
You giving him you making him a bad guy.
Okay.
So when the kid picks up the toy, he's not looking at him like, I don't even know what to do. He knows I got Batman, I got the bad guy. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, then that's all the studios really care about. So
that's legit it. Yeah. That's why I think Grogu might pick up that chainmail and the lightsabers, because that will sell all the toys in the world.
Oh, for sure.
All the toys in the world.
Absolutely.
Especially if, hold on, I showed this picture before, Ryan. I'll show it to you as we hop off.
Okay.
But especially, I want this. I want that.
Yeah,
he has the Mandalorian chain.
Yeah.
Right? It looks like he has a chainmail underneath. He has his lightsaber. He's strong in the Force.
He's got his water boy backpack.
Exactly, right. I want to see that,
All right. I dig it. He's looking a little older here. How is he aged up about 50 years, or what's the story there?
I don't know. Again, we don't know their race. George Lucas is very adamant about that. I know some people are theorizing that maybe he could be Yaddle and Yoda's child.
Right.
But I'm like, that's too small. We assume there has to be a larger planet of these things. So I'm like, you tell me the only two characters from this species that we know just so happen to be his parents. I'd rather you tell me he's a clone.
Yaddle doesn't exist.
I'm with you, AJ. I choose to believe Yaddle doesn't exist. She's ugly enough to not. But I choose to believe that maybe they perfected cloning, and that's what Grogu is. Grogu's a clone.
Oh, no. I don't know.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
Possible. That could be why the Empire wanted him back so bad.
I think that's going to ruin the appeal of him, though. Like, kids aren't trying to, like, buy
Hold on, time out. I don't think it could ruin it, because people spent all of season 1 believing he was just a smaller Yoda. So a lot of people didn't know that Yoda's not a race. That's that person.
Yeah, but Boba Fett was a smaller Jango, and no one was buying his toys.
Well, to be fair, you didn't get Jango till Attack of the Clones, and you only had him for like 10 minutes.
I'm just saying Bitty Boba wasn't selling any toys, so. That's all. But maybe the clone thing works. It's an interesting idea. I've never heard that before.
I mean, look, AJ knows this from the books. Cloning Luke worked. That was a very interesting storyline.
Yeah.
Where they were able to clone Luke. And Luke had to find himself and essentially kill himself. That was a very interesting story.
I just think that general audiences find cloning to be a very cheap ploy unless it's a strict science fiction story that's built all around that. Like,
it depends how you use it.
Yeah, you really got to treat it carefully.
We're heading into Secret Invasion, where a lot of people are assuming major characters are Skrulls. Yeah. So let's see how they react to that. Because if they react to that positively, then yeah. But all right, I want to give a shout out to All in the Game, Mr. E, listener Jim, who just popped in. Just your average Joe. My dad was in here at some point. I missed it. Mr. E said he's 24 and Joe said he's going to be 44. That's young. That's not old. I don't think that's old at all. To me, old is 80. When you're 80, that's when I'm like, God damn.
I'm literally going to be the cross section between both of those guys in about a month. 34
Nothing wrong with those ages. Look, AJ's only 15, so I'm like, it could be worse, right? Yeah. But anyway, I want to give a huge shout out to Tristian for joining us for the first time. I hope you come back for more episodes, man. Loved having you. Shout out to Trevon. Trevon, is that Hogwarts in your background?
Yeah.
It's the game, right?
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that game. I'm excited.
Yes.
I don't hype Trevon because he believes it might not happen.
Trevon is awesome, but that is the most depressed about Harry Potter I've ever seen a fan. Like, yeah. It's Harry Potter.
But I literally screamed when I saw this during that event. I was like, they're doing what?
Was it E3?
I think it was a PlayStation thing.
Oh, PlayStation event? Yeah.
I think it was a PlayStation
event. Yeah.
And then oh god.
But no, I want to also give a shout out to Tia. Tia was with us. She really wanted to talk GTA 6. So I'm glad she came in right as we were getting into it. Ryan, I'm glad you came in, especially to talk Star Wars, man. I know how passionate you were feeling about these last few episodes and talking about it. So I'm glad you came on for that. And like I said, guys, thank you so much for watching. We got to go. It's past AJ's bedtime. He hasn't even had his warm milk yet. So we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. But please, I gave a shout out to, excuse me, for Black History Month. We're going to continue that as we do GVN talk. So please, guys, please make sure you tune in every week. We might just go live for GVN talk from now on. I think that's more fun. I think we might just go live from now on. But as I said before, I will have Basecamp's information down in the description. So make sure you guys please go check them out, support them, follow them, and just keep in touch with them, guys. They are great. They are really, really, really good. Make sure you're following. But till next time, guys. Peace.